चलो अभी नेपाल का गेम होने वाला है दोस्तों, ठीक है। हॉनर ऑफ किंग में जैसे आप लोगों को पता होगा, मैंने पिछले 2 स्ट्रीम भी मैं कर चुका हूँ। सबसे पहले तो जितने भी लोग स्ट्रीम में हैं सभी को वेलकम आज के स्ट्रीम में। और अभी हम लोग वॉच पार्टी करने जा रहे हैं। नेपाल वर्सेस कौन सा कंट्री है ये, JOR से कुछ कंट्री है, ठीक है। एंड पिछले 2 स्ट्रीम भी मैं कर चुका हूँ। इसका आवाज़ आ रहा है। पिछले 2 स्ट्रीम भी मैं कर चुका हूँ जहाँ पे इंडिया का टीम खेला था, इंडिया वर्सेस काजाकिस्तान एंड इंडिया वर्सेस कौन सा कंट्री था, कुछ तो था, ठीक है। बट वहाँ पे शायद इंडियन टीम आउट हो चुके हैं। और आज नेपाली टीम का गेम है ना, तो हम नेपाली टीम को सपोर्ट करेंगे, उनके गेम देखेंगे। लेट्स सी क्या नेपाली टीम एशियन गेम 2026 के लिए जा पाएगा, कैसा मतलब परफॉर्मेंस देगा। लेट्स सी, ठीक है। बहुत बड़ी बात होगा अगर नेपाली टीम जा पाया तो। एक छोटा सा कंट्री और इंटरनेशनल स्टेज, मतलब आप लोग समझ सकते हो। चलो अभी ऐड कुछ आ रहा है, होने वाला है, स्टार्ट होने वाला है।
One of the tournament's strongest contenders, Singapore imposed their game plan with confidence and controlling objectives against Sri Lanka, securing a dominant 2-0 victory to close out Day 7's action. 7 days into the competition, every team is searching for a path forward. Some through dominance, some through resilience, and some through consistency.
Days ago, 20 teams have arrived, carrying the hopes of the region. And we've seen since then dominant performances, heartbreaking defeats, and every group battle shaped the road to the Asian Games. Welcome to the 2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers Honor of Kings. We've reached the final day of the group stage before the last
स्ट्रीम चल रहा है ना? हेलो,
For some, this is about finishing what we started, and for others, it's about holding on to the opportunity we have worked so hard to earn. And today, 2 matches rise above the rest: Republic of Korea, Hong Kong, China, Indonesia, the Philippines. All 4 have arrived at the same destination, undefeated and amongst the tournament's elites. But now, those perfect records will be put to an end. First, we're going to be seeing dominant performances between Hong Kong, China, and Republic of Korea. They collide in a battle between 2 teams that have turned excellence into expectations. Then comes a familiar foe between Indonesia and the Philippines, a rivalry that's been seen across the esports fans in Southeast Asia. And today, they will battle it out. For days, these regions have looked untouchable. And today, the tournament's undefeated giants will finally collide. This is no longer just about qualification. This is about pride and making a statement. Day 8 starts now, and the road to the Asian Games continues. Casters, lead the gorge.
चलो अब गेम शुरू होगा शायद।
Happy to be here once again, Mara. My name is Sagi, your desk host for Day 8 of our final group stage day before we go into the last chance stage coming in for the 2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers Honor of Kings. So it's not just me alone, it's with our fellow English casters that are the voices coming in for the gorge, Sir Cloud, and also Adam Spartanker.
स्क्रीन शेयर है कि नहीं मेरा?
Hello, welcome. We are on day number 8. This is the last day
देखो,
for
मैगी
the
आवाज
group
नहीं आ रहा है
stage,
तुम्हारा।
which is very fun indeed.
Hello?
And tomorrow is gonna be the last chance
Hello,
stage
hello.
as well. So we're gonna be focusing on today first because today is gonna
बात कर रहे हो तुम
determine a
लोग?
lot of things.
Yeah, especially one group that still has that chance to qualify. So it's going to be a lot on the line, especially
नया
that we'll
बंदा
talk
कौन
about
है
along the way.
मिडल वाला?
Yeah, later on when we check out the groupings and also the
Guys,
today's
देखेंगे ठीक है
matchups, I
नेपाली
think we will
team
get more of an
आज कुछ
understanding
पकड़
going
पाएगा या
into
नहीं.
some of these teams that have no more chance going into the main event, some of these teams that have still the opportunity in making a comeback. So let's check out the standings with this upcoming graphic here.
And this will be
Okay,
the current
तो
standings
आप लोग
from
देख
all of
सकते
the
हो
groups
यहाँ
we
पे.
have from Group A. Indonesia and the Philippines has already made it towards the main event. Following up with them is Uzbekistan on the 3rd spot. They will go to the last chance stage, and following up with them is Pakistan and Mongolia.
नेपाली
For
टीम ने
Group
तो
B,
अच्छा खेला है. 2
Yep,
1
we have
4 2.
Myanmar up on
Indian
top
team
right
का
now
1,
with a
3,
clean
2, 6.
4-0 win
Indian
at
team
this
का थोड़ा
moment.
सा अच्छा
And we
नहीं
have
गया था.
Nepal at second place, third place is Kyrgyzstan,
पाकिस्तान
fourth
का भी
place
अच्छा नहीं
Jordan,
गया है.
and United Emirates
उज़्बेकिस्तान
at
का
fifth place. So what's going to be
ठीक-ठाक.
interesting is that third place is still kind of contested.
Oh yeah, if we were to check out Nepal and also Jordan here, if Jordan gets
Jordan
a 2-0
versus
over
Nepal का होगा
Nepal,
शायद game
that's
अभी.
going to be forcing a three-way tie between second, third, and fourth place. And then we might need some tiebreakers later on for Group B, but we'll find that out later on in the opening match of the day. Coming from Group C, this is already finalized. There won't be any more games coming in. Oh, except for Laos going up against Saudi Arabia. Regardless they win or lose, it won't really change the dynamic of the group, where Laos and Kazakhstan are already locked for the main event, where Vietnam has to go through the last chance stage tomorrow. And for Group D, this is where all the exciting things will be happening.
Standings
And
देख
we do
सकते हो.
have
ठीक है
Hong Kong
दोस्तों.
China up top, including a
अभी
Republic
नेपाल versus
of
Jordan का
Korea
game
that
होने
are
वाला है.
fighting out today to see who is better in the Group D. It's for the regional pride, but also on number 3 and number 4, we still have Singapore and Syria tied with the same score, 1-2 for both of them, and they're gonna play again today to see who's gonna be able to grab that spot of the very important one to have their last chance.
Yeah, that's going to be an important game for them to play, right?
नेपाल
But,
versus
besides
Portugal
that,
का match
what
होने
you
वाला है
say,
अभी.
right, like Hong Kong, China,
Portugal
Republic
नहीं,
of
नेपाल
Korea,
versus
it's
Jordan.
also for
Jordan.
pride. And they will
Jordan,
be playing
हाँ.
here today.
उसके
अभी
बाद
होगा क्या?
Schedule of today's matches.
कि
So
ऐसे
let's-
सऊदी
if we
अरब
were to
versus
go through the
LAO
entire
क्या होता है?
schedule, right? Most of the storyline
Lao,
we have
Lao.
already pointed out. Nepal or Jordan. If
नहीं, वो
Jordan
short
wins,
form में
two-way tie. If
NEP
Nepal
जैसा
wins,
नेपाल का
they
NEP
go
होता
to
है
the
ना.
main event, and
अच्छा.
the Kyrgyzstan team will be representing their team in the Group B for the last chance. KSA Laos
Ina
is more
versus
of
Fee, मतलब
KSA
आज
finding
Indonesia
their first
versus
win and
Philippines का भी
representing
है.
their nation and region as a
हाँ.
whole.
Indonesia
For Laos,
versus
it's about the
Philippines.
clean run coming in for Group C. Now, the
दोनों खतरनाक है
highlight, I
ऐसा
would
गेम
say,
अभी.
it's at the
हाँ.
second half of
Country.
today, where
बहुत
Singapore and
बढ़िया
Syria, it's the
खेलने
same
वाला
thing.
player
Stakes
उधर
are very
क्या
high.
होता है ज़्यादातर.
Singapore wins, they go last chance. Syria wins, they go last chance. Do or die situation. And then the Group D and Group A game at the final two, grudge matches. Not a lot of stakes at hand, but regional pride at hand and bragging rights.
Yeah, Hong Kong, China against Korea. Both of them have never lost a match right now, including Indonesia and Philippines. Everyone is going to be waiting for these two matchups that's going to be happening at the end of the day. And right now, can already hear the cheers coming out from the players for our first match between Nepal and Jordan.
Oh yeah, because
Nepal
they know
and
that
Jordan
this is a
the
very
match.
important match as well, right? Especially for Jordan. If they want to keep their hopes alive, they have to win this
अच्छा,
one.
Jordan
And they
का
have to win this
do or
one
die
big.
game है
Yeah,
शायद.
2-0.
2-0, not a 2-1, not a 1-2. If it's 2-1 and Jordan still wins, they
2-0
still can make it to the
ओहो अच्छा
last chance
समझ
stage.
रहे
They
हो.
got a 2-0
Jordan
this
की
against
टीम
the
अगर
upcoming
2-0
opponents here. So this
मारा
group is
नेपाली
definitely
टीम को
starting to
तो
shake
शायद
up
वो
more
लोग
heavily, I would feel,
बच
because
सकते हैं. नहीं तो
once
2-1
more
भी
win,
मार
once
लिया
more
ना
lose, it causes a lot
बेस्ट ऑफ 3 में
shake-up coming in
तो
with
वाइप
Nepal and
आउट
also
मतलब
Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan really
Out हो
needs to
जाएंगे
get that
Jordan की teams.
2-0, and that's a lot of
नेपाली टीम
pressure,
शायद
right?
सिर्फ
Because they
स्पोर्ट में
really
है
need to
अभी
make sure that
मेरे
they
को
have
जहाँ तक लगता
the
है
chance
आप
to
लोगों
go
ने
to the
स्टैंडिंग
last
भी
chance
देख ही लिया
stage.
होगा
And I
वहाँ पे.
think they can try to
Game
pull it
अच्छा
out,
था
but
नेपाली
going
टीम
up
का.
against Nepal, they have proven quite a lot as
वही
well
हम
in
नेपाली
this
लोग.
entire qualifier. So
Okay.
there's gonna be a lot of
हाँ.
things that they have to do in the match. It's gonna be fun to watch this first match.
Yeah, agree, right? Like Nepal has shown that
नेपाल
they
का
are
team
a
इतना
strong
बड़ा
team as
tournament
well.
में
So
वही
it's
तो
not the
मुझे तो पता ही नहीं
easiest
था
of a team to
जैसे ही
try to
पता
bring
चला
down,
अभी
but
आज
like
ये
what you always say, Sagi, you
देखने
cannot
आया हूँ.
count any games out until the crystal is broken. So they have to play their hearts out. Jordan has to play their hearts out here against Nepal, and who knows what might happen, right?
I think they're relatively wise as well, right? Coming in for the entire Asian Games qualifiers, we had like 7 days currently to 8th day of our group stage. We've seen some pretty good upsets thus far. Like we were thinking like, oh, Vietnam versus Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan might have a tough time, but Kazakhstan took it 2-0. And then when we shift towards another few series here, things are starting to be more and more heated up where predictions are way out of line that will be expected.
Yeah, and also, I would like to remind everyone to participate in the event to get the Baichi's new skin, Playground Hunter. This is already a new update coming into
सब Chinese name
Honor of
होता है क्या
Kings
इधर का
latest
हीरो का?
patch. This is a free Baichi skin, so don't forget to grab this one. We all
Cheng
love
Chung
free
ऐसा
stuff.
वैसा होता
Yeah,
है
and
ना.
I have already collected it.
Oh.
Just saying, if you're disciplined from the first day it starts, then you collect every day. You played enough matches, and then you would have already collected it for free. But if not, yeah, it's still up there, and you can do the matches. It's very easy to do, and you can collect for free.
Yeah,
with
many-
the free stuff.
Many more days to come if you still haven't claimed the new Baichi skin here. But you know what? It's a very important day coming in for the upcoming two teams, which is Nepal and also Jordan. So let's invite them towards the stage with this teaser video for this epic showdown.
चलो ये नेपाली टीम का है क्या एंट्री? हाँ. अरे बाप रे, चलो अपने शेर लोग आ चुके हैं, ठीक है यहाँ पे. सुशील टी मतलब सुशील तामाङ है. सुशांक आर मतलब राई है शायद. विजय भी आर राई है शायद. स्वस्तिक एम. सुयोग पी मतलब प्रधान या फिर क्या है. चलो यार, नेपाली टीम ने भी कर दिखाया यार, इतना बड़ा इंटरनेशनल स्टेज में जाकर. देखो तो एंट्री देखो. अभी जॉर्डन का टीम का एंट्री है शायद ये. जॉर्डन का भी टीम है, देख सकते हो. 5 प्लेयर होता है इधर, 5v5 एंड आज बेस्ट ऑफ 3 गेम है, ठीक है. इधर नेपाल की टीम के साइड से हूँ एंड देखते हैं. लेट्स गो. लाइक हटाओ. नेपालीहरू कतिजना छौ स्ट्रिममा, हेर्नु पर्यो है आज.
A victory
देखाउनु
today
पर्यो है
keeps their
नेपाली
last
टिमको
chance hopes
सपोर्ट.
alive. A defeat leaves their
5 जना टिम
future
गएको छ
uncertain.
नेपालबाट.
With everything on the line, they step
हाम्रो
onto the
केटाहरू
stage,
है.
ready to fight for another
नेपाली
day.
टिमले राम्रो खेलोस्,
Please
जित्योस्
welcome
भन्ने हो आफ्नो चाहिँ.
Nepal!
Playing for pride and the spirit of competition. They are determined to be the challenge. Standing in the way of their opponent's stream.
को जित्छ होला दाइ, को जित्छ होला त केटा हो यो गेममा. लु प्रेडिक्सन लगाओ, गेस करो दोस्तों कौन जीतेगा इस पहले गेम में, फर्स्ट गेम में, ठीक है. बेस्ट ऑफ 3 का जॉर्डन का
The
सब.
final opportunity coming
देख
in
सकते
for
हो, ठीक है.
Nepal and Jordan.
ये तो
Whoever
पुष्पा राज
wins
फिल्म
this
का वो
will
विलेन होता है ना,
bring them
पुलिस.
one
वो
step
ये यार.
closer
हाँ,
to
तकला वाला.
the main
क्या बोलते हैं
contest.
उसको?
It's Nepal. This is the task
शेखर,
that
शेखर,
we're looking
शेखर,
for. For
शेखर
Jordan,
सर.
the task is heavy
शेखर.
because you need a 2-0. There's no excuses, no
Same
other
to
way of
same,
doing
भाई.
so.
Well, the team that is there to try to stop
जंगलर
them
का
is
ने
going to
स्वस्तिक
be
भाई है.
Team Nepal,
स्वस्तिक.
represented by Shushank, Swastik,
स्वस्तिक
BJ,
M,
Shusil,
स्वस्तिक
as well
मंडल है क्या?
as Suyong. So this team, we have seen them in multiple games before this, and they are a very
मारेगा,
good
मारेगा,
team.
हमारा
They
टीम
have
वाले
good
बहुत
synergy
गंदे
as well.
प्लेयर हैं.
And players like BJ, players like Suyong have been standout
सुशांक
players.
फाइटर
Yeah,
है.
they've been performing quite well in
Sushil
their own
Golden,
respective ways, because it's very
Suyok
interesting to
Tank
see
है, I
how
guess.
other region really do perform in their own specific ways, the way they
Oh my
rotate,
God, मैंने
the
तो
way
वो
they
notice ही नहीं किया था.
communicate,
माइक ही
the way
notice
they
करो,
really try to translate everything
जर्सी
from
टाइप
their
का वो है
mind
ना.
into their gameplay. It
हाँ.
उन
really
लोगों का.
shows such
देखो ना वहाँ पे
झंडा है,
नेपाली
झंडा है.
फ्लैग का वो
And
है,
this team
आइकन है.
especially, they do focus down on that specific play, but do
अच्छा,
bring me
अच्छे
over
तरीके से
the
बनाया
lineup
ना.
coming in from Jordan.
ये है
Coming from
जॉर्डन का
Jordan,
टीम.
we do have the lineup of Muhammad, Mahmoud, Yazan, Ahmad,
Muhammad
and Salameh. A lot
Salameh.
of pressure up on these guys. But back to you, Saki.
Well, for this specific team, right, I would like to highlight a few things where
नेपाली दाइ
for the side
छ
of Nepal,
लाइरमै
they're more
केटा.
of a mid lane and roam centric sort of team, whereby most of the plays
Yeah,
are
yeah.
coming in from that mid roam duo here. But for Jordan, the ball lies on towards the side of Ahmad, whether he can actually scale towards that late game here. So for me, these two teams, it's more on how they cultivate around those winning
जॉर्डन का
conditions.
डुअर डाई गेम है.
Both of them have very different winning conditions, very different play style, and how they try to cultivate things. I think that's what makes it very interesting, right? How different things always have different ways of
जल्दी
trying
गेम
to
स्टार्ट
achieve
होता
their
तो यार
victory. And
इतना
there's no wrong or
बोरिंग
right.
टाइप का नहीं होता.
Yeah, but based on what Sagi says, right, because you're so dependent on like the farm laner, right? You want to play the late game, but what if your opponent
यहाँ देख
finishes
सकते हैं आप
you
लोग.
off quickly, right? So that's the danger
क्या
that they
है?
need to be
KD
careful
है.
of. But at least the good news for Jordan is that their first strike rate is
अभी
83%,
तक का
so
total.
that's slightly more than Team Nepal. So that means they are capable of playing it
What's the
aggressively
strike
from the
rate?
start.
Game
You
win,
can
total game.
snowball from there to the mid game and maybe
4 out
end
of
the game towards the
6
late.
win
By
किया है
then,
नेपाल ने, जोर्डन ने
Exactly
2 out
right.
of
And
6.
sometimes we do see that although Jordan doesn't have the best track record, but the
First
way that they play
strike.
the game is really
अच्छा, aggressive
aggressive
खेलते
in the
हैं
sense
Jordan,
where they
इसलिए
like to be
पेला जाता
on
है.
the proactive and invading your jungle in the early game. And Yazan has always been that player to always utilize the Hano in that mid lane, finding those pickoffs, finding those poke damages against the enemy.
Yeah, playing around, really revolving around the mid lane is sort of their playstyle, and the hero play is not really too different from both sides of the team as well. We do have a lot of assists coming in from the side of Jordan, probably showing
शुरू हो गया
that
था
they
मैच.
love to play
मैच
with
शुरू
their
होने
full
वाला है.
five
नेपाल versus
instead
Jordan
of
मैच
just
है.
trying to have a small little clash ups.
नेपाली टीम का MVP कौन है
head-to-head
वैसे
between the two
ज़्यादा अच्छा
teams.
खेलने
मैंने
वाला?
तो देखा ही नहीं है नेपाली टीम का मैच.
4.5 average KDA for BJ and 3.5 for Yazan. Almost the same amount of average goal per minute. The damage per minute though is a little bit more towards BJ, but the kill participation coming in from both sides are quite similar.
Yeah, the goal per minute, I would say, is a very important stat, right? And it's very close between the two. Average DPM, sometimes it really depends on the scenario of the game as well. What kind of hero did you pick and so on and so forth. But the goal per minute, that is so close. I believe that this is going to be a hot lane contest just by the goal per minute.
And it goes back into the same thing, right? Like how they share the same hero pool, how they enjoy playing those control or long range mages here. So this specific matchup will be key because every time we talk about mid lane, it's not only a 1v1, it's about 3v3, 4v4 in controlling that mid segment and then
यार,
affecting
इतना
it
time
into
wait कराते हैं ना ये
jungle
लोग,
control or
यही
objective
अच्छा नहीं
control
लगता
in those
मुझे.
side lanes.
Yeah, especially when they use heroes like Garuda with the Wings of Judgment, clearing up lanes and poking up everyone in front of them.
चलो अब
Especially
शुरू
when
होगा
the tank gets
शायद.
hit a lot. When the Garuda already has that Mass of Agni, that's when the damage is going to be a lot and might be translated into damage per minute into the stats just now. Versus maybe, you know, they're
Diecast
busy with
के
the
हो तपाईँको?
team
मेरो
fight so
तामाङ हो.
much that they don't really have the time to deal more damage per minute and so much.
ल
as
गाइस,
So whether they are
सुरु
going
हुन लाग्यो
to deal
गेम.
more damage or
50
depends
सेकेन्डमा
on
सुरु
what
हुन्छ
kind of
है.
setup are they going to put up as well, right? So looking at the current side setup, so Team Nepal, they chose to be on the blue side, so they want to set the tone onto this game. And we should also remember that they do play a very good Zhangfei gameplay as well, and that was shown during the opener day that time. So whether that changed over time after the past few days of the tournament and they don't want to make their draft kind of obvious, they want to put something different to the table here, that's something I want to see.
I like that reminder, especially when we go into the Nepal's draft itself. Most of the time, Suyong is that person who will be on that tree.
सुयु बोल रहा है तो सुयु भी होता है क्या ये?
नहीं नहीं, सुयोग नेपाली टीम का एक मेंबर टीम का नाम है.
He did have a few
Player
bad
का नाम है
moments
सुयोग.
against some previous opponents here, but
सुयोग
most of the
तामाङ या
times when they
क्या
are
था
winning,
उसका नाम?
he is that man
खेल
to
रहा है
set
ना?
those plays up coming in from
चलो
Team
गेम
Nepal.
चालू हो
And
चुका है
this will be
दोस्तों.
the first game pick
अब देखते
and
हैं.
bans coming in
अच्छा,
from Nepal
ban
and Jordan.
pick.
And right through the get-go, Dolia,
Ban कर दिया.
Garuda, some of the heroes that Jordan favor has been locked away.
इंसिडर जैसा भी
And
होता है
to
क्या
be
कैरेक्टर
honest,
इधर.
having Zhangfei really works, right? The way they really do time the ultimate very well and very cohesive.
सुशांत
movement
का
coming in from
ban
the
time
टूर्नामेंट
है.
वैसे कहाँ हो रहा है?
It's
कौन
a
सा
very
कंट्री में हो
good
रहा है
follow-up.
टूर्नामेंट?
ये
You know what?
ये
If
उसमें
it
हो रहा है
works,
शायद.
why not continue with it?
कहाँ
But
हो
a
रहा
very
है?
interesting first pick coming in from Nepal, which is
कौतार में
something
हो रहा है
that we
शायद,
rarely see.
या फिर कहाँ
To
हो
have
रहा
a
है
dear
ये?
range here to be picked as the first one.
बाहर ही हो
is
रहा है ना
something
मतलब.
हाँ, कौतार में हो रहा है
Yeah,
शायद
you
ये
don't
गेम.
always see that as the
कौतार
first.
या
Like, if you
दुबई.
say, oh, Chano first pick, okay, I kind of get it, right? But DNJ first pick, okay, I want to see what's going to be the subsequent pick right there. But because they picked the DNJ
भाई
as
ये
the first
कैरेक्टर
pick, then
हमेशा
Jordan will
लेते हैं
say,
यार.
wow, all the power
ये
picks are open.
टैंक है
That's
शायद
very good.
मोहम्मद
I'll
ने
take
जो लिया है
Zhangfei,
ना.
I'll take Arlie because they can take two at the same time, right?
तो
Yeah, I was
नेपाली
quite
टीम का
surprised, especially when I
pick देख
saw
सकते हो.
Jordan
अच्छा
banning out
अच्छा
the
तो
Guan
pick
Yu and
है.
also the Maestro. And I was like thinking like, oh, Nepal, isn't this the perfect channel game for you? That's a lot of
Yeah.
engage and like backline flank potential that's been removed from the pool. But they definitely have a different idea coming in for both teams, as we can see the subsequent picks being the Musashi and also the side of Lianpo. So that's going to be heavy engage coming in from the side of Nepal. And Jordan, I like it, right? You have the Arlie, which is a strong mid-game carry, and you pair up with like 2 tanky boys to actually be that front line in allowing the side of Ahmad to progress in those team fights.
I'm gonna say that Jordan is pretty brave to be taking Atta and Zhang Fei right after the hero Direnji has been picked, because Direnji is a direct counter for Atta actually, in my opinion, right? Because of the Spark Forge again, the Doomsday, so the HP is gonna be melted quite quickly. But probably because also they are confident with their mid lane afterwards that's gonna be picked after this, which is going to be helping them to try to get the Duranji as soon as possible. For now, we don't see any hero that could jump to the back line easily, except for maybe Atta to just keep on jumping, keep on rolling slowly.
अच्छा वो फाइटर वाला बैन कर दिया.
And I kind of feel that the Musashi is at least
अच्छा अच्छा हीरो सब बैन होता है ना ऐसे. और
it's not going to have a good time.
जो ओपोनेंट टीम मेन हीरो खेलता है ना, जिसमें अच्छा खेलता है वो हीरो ही बैन कर देता है उसके अगेंस्ट वाले टीम. तो उन लोगों के लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल बनाता है, ठीक है.
It might be a hard game for the
इस तरीके से
Musashi.
जाता है गेम.
Not
शायद यहाँ पे 5 बैन
one,
है,
right?
5
Especially the
बैन
fact
सिस्टम
that
है.
sometimes when you play the early into the Musashi matchup, if the
Game
early
start
plays it
होने
well,
वाला है, ज़्यादा
you
time
sort
नहीं
of
लगेगा.
follow the early back to a paracel, and if your team is unable to follow, you're isolated in between 4 or 5 people coming in from the enemy team.
Yeah.
And Jordan here locks in the party, one more of the early counter removed from the pole,
Seal
and
by
Ladies
Navi,
and
Lilia,
it's a pretty good pick, right?
corrected.
Solid one, because when we talk about Ladies and
Golden-
yes,
golden
downside is
target,
that you
Susil.
can't really clear waves efficiently, but when it comes to peeling and allowing your team to play slowly in those team fights, you reduce the physical and magical defense on the Ata, the Zhang Fei. It becomes a strong control measure
इधर
in making
इधर
sure
ना
that team fight goes in your
Wukong
favor
कैरेक्टर
when
भी
the
होता
enemy
है
charges into
दोस्तों.
you.
I like the region. Sometimes
और
the
उधर
second
एक
skill
फोन
is
फोन
so
नाम का भी होता है
hidden
ना उसमें.
because
मैंने
people
देखा
don't
था.
really
वो तो
pay
मोबाइल में होता
attention
है,
to
इधर
the
Wukong होता है.
snowball just bouncing out of people. It gets really annoying and gets really painful, triggering random freezes on top of you. So having this Byron coming in from Nepal is going to be quite helpful for them as well to give a lot more sustainability for Nepal. We have Lady Jen, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes hand in hand with the Musashi and the Lempo.
I actually like the lineup by Jordan overall,
so
right?
consistent.
I can see all the combos happening here. You have the Atta with the Ghost Ship, you have the Umbrella Armors, and then you have like the Heino just throwing the spears, like just poking. And if you want to go on, if Musashi chooses to charge the Heino, it's like he'll Fate Rewind and go back, right? So I can see very effective team fights here by Jordan.
And Yazan's Heino has been one of the key highlights coming in for the side of Jordan's lineup. He had fantastic performance before this coming in towards today's series here, so I'm excited to see what Jordan's draft is having a preparation for, because that's a very
game
solid
चलो
one. Not a lot of heroes can actually handle this Heino if you're looking towards the Nepal draft.
Yes, thank you so much, Sagi. As we go into
देखो.
this first match
Guys.
between Nepal and
देखो.
Jordan. Love to see on how it's
इधर
going
का
to be
minion कुछ और
going.
है.
3 people
Mid lane में
starting
एकदम
off
से
from
3
side
लोग
of
आ चुके
Jordan.
हैं.
The jungle
Mid
decides to
support
go to the minion
मेज
first
और
without
टैंक
clearing
है मिड में.
anything
सुयोग
too much,
बीजे
and
मेज
he
है,
will go
सुयोग
directly
टैंक
towards
है.
his blue buff, and hopefully he's going to be able to have that
कौन सा
assist
का
coming
fight
in
हो रहा है?
from his teammate
नेपाल
and do
का
some
team है?
build sharing.
You know what? I'm
नेपाल
actually
का
looking at
क्या?
Yaza with the
नेपाल का
teleport.
वही है एनईपी
What is
ब्लू
it he
वाला.
has in mind? Does he want to play that?
नाम के आगे
I'll
वो है ना?
be the secondary
हाँ,
split
NP.
push later?
Sometimes Heino really does have this capability to clear lanes quickly. I don't think he's going to be
Side fight
doing
होने वाला है
splits.
यहाँ पे.
I think he's going to be trying to define a lot more with that teleport so that he
3v3.
can immediately pick the tower back up in case it goes down too quickly.
Oh yeah, that makes absolute sense as well, right?
उसका
So this
character देखो ना,
gives
सालेमे
Jordan
का.
a lot more option to play across the
स्कॉर्पियो
map as well.
स्कॉर्पियन
So
या स्कॉर्पियन
interesting pick there. I really like what Jordan is setting up themselves for, but at the end of the day, it's all about execution, right? And
उसके
whether
team
they're
में
able to execute it during team fights and whatever scenario that happens inside the map. Now, for Team Nepal, their team fights are not too bad, but what I think is more important for them when team fights happen is for Suyong to be able to hit his skills.
Oh, look at this. A very good knockout coming in from the side of Jordan, but they're not going to try to commit too much. Quite worried there might be some backups coming in from the other side of the lanes, but 400 gold in front for Jordan. It's very interesting on how Jordan actually sends Ahmad, who's playing early towards the mid lane. They really want to give that freedom for him to actually try to steal as much as jungle as possible while putting Yazan on the side lane to go up against Direnji.
और रिपेयर होने वाला है.
And
इसके
here
बाद
comes
वहाँ पे
the
camp
mid
कर रहे हैं.
battle.
टायरेंट
I'm
बोलते हैं
pretty sure
इसको.
that Jordan wants the boss at the side, but the boss were taken away by Team Nepal, so now everybody resets back into the middle. Both sides pretty much respectful of each other. Even if you look at the goal difference, it's not far.
Yeah, it's not far at all. 300 gold and not much
ठीक-ठाक
of
game जा रहा है,
double
अभी
evasion
कोई
has been
मरा
done as
नहीं
well.
है।
It's very difficult to try to invade towards Atta. Atta is a very tanky hero. It's a very great early game hero, and I hope that Jordan try to close things out early on, because it's going to be quite difficult for them throughout the mid to late game, unless if Fateh, their winning position, get his items and try to really beat down everyone in the back line during the war.
Yeah, it's interesting that you brought out the Fateh, right? Because we've been talking about like how the other heroes can combo with each other. But the Fateh, yes, it is a winning condition hero. Can also split push if needed, can clear waves really, really fast. And I'm just thinking of like, okay, what if Fateh goes one lane, clears really fast, Yazan goes another lane and clears really fast with a Hano? Oh, Team Nepal, they're going to have a hard time just winning back those lanes.
True, and somehow Nepal suddenly have a little bit of a goal lead, but they're more or less the same right now. 40 seconds before Tyrant starts to spawn, and Yazan is still way
Tyrant
down in the bottom
spawn
lane,
होने
really
वाला
pressuring
है।
Sushil. Very difficult for Sushil to actually move out towards the front, having Yazan with the Scepters marking up on top. It's gonna be very difficult for him to try to
इधर
put
ऊपर
any
fight हो गया
pressure.
शायद।
But let's see who gets this jungle.
सर
I
नहीं।
just wonder who's going to make
Turret,
the big
turret.
move first,
छोड़
right?
दिया क्या?
I guess that will be, we'll find that out in about 18 more seconds when the Tyrant is up. Both sides can contest for it based on their goal difference at this moment.
चलो फाइट हो गया।
अरे
ओ भाई।
इधर
Moving from side, they check the brush, they see
Suryo भाई को
Suryo
पिल देगा
now
इसे
in an
तो।
awkward position, but he should
Tank
be
है ना,
able to
लेकिन
dash
उतना
with
जल्दी
safety,
नहीं
not
बनने
going to be
वाला।
an issue for him.
Yeah, it seems like a very nice move coming in from Mahmood. He knows that someone's there, and you know he can actually manage with the damage that's coming out from Nepal for now. And the Tyrant is going to be ready for them to take. It seems like Jamfe, Salame also have his Umbrella Outburst that can be used anytime to try to zone them away,
मैच
especially
बहुत
the
ही
Musashi.
Okay,
लेट खत्म
I'm
होने
looking
वाला
at the
है।
Umbrella Outburst right now. It will be used on the two players of
किसको
Team Nepal just to buy
नहीं?
enough time
हाँ?
for Team Jordan to lock in the
टायरेंट मिला
Tyrant.
ना उधर।
Very
उधर का टायरेंट मारा ना।
of zone control
इधर का
coming
भी
in from the roam
मारना
of
पड़ेगा।
Jordan.
दो तरफ आता
Very
है।
nice timing
दो
as
तरफ
well.
आता है इधर शायद।
And we know that Mahmood is trying to get the buff before he starts to rotate towards the bottom. Seems like Yazan needs
मार
a
दे,
hand
घुस
to
के
try
मार
to
दे यार
defend
भाई
this
लोग।
bottom tower.
Yep, and they're going to give him more than a hand. They're going to give him a leg, a body, eyes, mouth, ears, and everything else. And they will try to shoo away the players of Team Nepal. So far, so good. Mahmoud goes all the way to the back, trying to steal one, and they managed to do so, limiting the resources of Team Nepal to far.
Excellent awareness coming in from Nepal. They are aware that Jordan's coming from the side, so they decided to pull back to safety as early as possible, which avoided them to have any unnecessary eliminations coming in from the side of Nepal. The rotation coming in with the teleportation is quite effective for Sushank, going to the mid lane, leaving Muhammad to continue farming in the top.
किसी ने किसी को मारा ही नहीं यार अभी तक।
Are they going to go and
Gold भी
just help him
same
push
ही
to
है।
the top? Not yet.
Gold का भी
because
5 मिनट हो चुके
Muhammad,
हैं।
he's just very happy doing his own thing.
ओके
While the winner
साले में
Salame
मर
receives
सकता है।
damage,
मार
but he
दिया।
might be
नाइस
down
यार,
here.
नेपाली
Goes to
टीम
the
का
damage,
फर्स्ट
and
स्ट्राइक,
first
फर्स्ट ब्लड आ
strike
चुका है इधर।
towards Nepal.
Oh, it's very difficult for him to.
अपोजिट चित्त बुझ्दो हुन्छ है केटा गेम। ल टावर नै तोड्नु पर्यो अब।
When he's offline, he's very offline.
Nice.
The Umbrella Outburst is not
त्यसलाई
there,
नि।
but very aggressive coming in from the
ल
RB.
ल
Jambe is
ल
trying to save the tower.
हाने हाने टावर।
But
अहो यार
seems like
यतिले
they
बाँच्यो
managed
त्यो
to
टावर।
do so with just a slither of life coming into the
मिनियन आउने
tower.
बित्तिकै गइहाल्छ नि त टावर। मिनियन नै
And you know what? They can try to defend it one more time.
मिडलेन मिडलेन ज्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं ना नेपाली टीम। मिडलेन
Yeah, but
टाउन में।
Yazan is now occupied at the bottom as both players from Team Nepal pushing Yazan to behind. In the middle, it's still
अच्छा
stands,
खेल रहा है
so that's
नेपाली
still
टीम। मेरे को
okay,
लगता है
but
नेपाली
for
टीम
how
ही
long,
जीतेगा।
though? I'm keeping my eye at the bottom right
ये लोग
now.
फाइटिंग से
They
ज्यादा
have
टावर
back
पुश
up
में
50. He
वो
managed
कर
to
रहे
pull
हैं।
4 players towards him.
Both the Tremor Smash and
चलो।
Umbrella Outburst is available to be
अब फाइट
used.
देखने में
Still
मजा
waiting
आएगा।
for Mahmoud to be
हमारा नेपाली
rotating
भाई
towards the
लोग
bottom lane
जीतेगा,
as soon as
जीतेगा
possible. The
भाई,
minions are marching in.
जीतेगा।
Someone needs to go at the mid lane
बस
to
पुश
defend
करना
that
होता है,
tower.
किल का
The
तो
mid
कुछ
lane
भी होगा
tower
ना।
is one of the most important things to have
माइकी
बस
भाइ कौन सा टिम
standing and
जितेगा?
alive for them
नेपाली
to
भाई टीम
continue having
जीतेगा।
that continuous vision.
नहीं अच्छा है
this
नेपाली
passive
टीम को गेम
vision
में
for
देख
the
रहा हूँ
side
ना।
of Jordan.
Absolutely
खेल रहा
right.
है।
Because that will somewhat block the entrance into the
एब्सोल्यूट
jungle
सिनेमा होगा
side.
लास्ट में तो जाके।
So keeping that
मारो मारो
alive,
भाई।
especially if
मोहम्मद
it's, even though it's only
भाई
one
लोगों
tick
को
left,
चांस
it's
मिला,
very,
चांस
very
पे डांस
important.
मोहम्मद को मारो
And that's
मोहम्मद।
where Jordan put a lot of emphasis to it. Look at this, they're sending like 4 players down into the middle just to make sure that that middle tower still stands.
Yeah, this is very important, right? Because it blocks the flanking maneuver capability coming in from Nepal. But look at this. seems like Drummer Smash might be gonna be
एक
forced
बंदा
out
teleport हो
very
रहा है,
soon,
गया
but
teleport हो गया
also the
उधर।
Umbrella Obus is still available. A lot of damage coming in from Lady Jan
Oh my
with
God,
Vijay
इसका
still
firepower
keeping
तो
his
देखो।
destructive deluge and a lot of HP
इधर का
has
नेपाली
deducted,
टीम को भी
from
टायरेंट
Jordan.
लेना चाहिए
Yeah,
शायद।
you would kind of expect that. Oh, maybe a fight.
Oi, nice यार, nice Swastik।
At the top, and here comes Suyo
चलो
just
भाई,
at the right
सुयोग
timing to get
अच्छा
Yazan.
support दे दिया, ठीक है।
Yazan
ये टावर भी
was
टूट
not
सकता
able to
है।
get away in time. He
बढ़िया।
does try to fade rewind at
नेपाली
that
टीम के
moment.
हाथ में है शायद ये गेम।
He tried to save himself, but Ahmad actually moved
भाई
back
एक
with
रुकिया
the
जैसा है
Parasol.
कैरेक्टर, देख
I
रहे हो
think
अमित?
They really
क्या?
need to try to play closer around
रुकिया का
Heno.
बांके जैसा है।
Heno really excels if he has a tank in front of him, so that he can really consistently throw the scepters over and over.
औरोरा
again
जैसा है
so
ये।
that he can
विनायक
make
तुम
use
औरोरा खेलते हो ना,
of his
सेम वैसा ही है ये।
space.
विजय
I
जो
thought
खेल रहा है।
Swastik would go for the tower. He just needed one more hit, but hey, let that
Watashi
tower
no
go. Oh,
Bankai.
and the minions
Mad, mad,
did
mad,
their
mad.
own job to take down the
Mad.
tower, so that's okay. You still get the tower at the end of the
Okay,
day, and that's the
gold
mid
medal.
tower
Gold
down.
Baxia जैसा
The
यार।
important tower that we've been talking
हाँ।
about.
And also,
हाँ,
we're
Suyek
waiting
जो
for the Fatih to actually
खेल रहा है
come
ना?
online, get his
Oh, yeah.
itemizations done, so that we can see a lot more moves with the Sacred Tree Blessing, with Muhammad as the pilot of the hero. We want to see if it's going to be effective or not, but the flash has been wasted out of nowhere. I was expecting
Nice,
that to be
ए, fight
in
हो
a
यार,
different
लेकिन-
situation,
लेकिन-
but it
लेकिन
seems like
सुस्ती को
Sacred
भागना
Blessing
पड़ेगा
hasn't
इधर।
been used just yet.
चलो,
But
tank
the
कुछ
smash
कर
is still
दिखाओ,
available,
सुयोग।
but the Jump
अरे
has
यार।
already used Umbrella Outburst.
ऊपर टावर
Okay,
ले
Tremor
लिया शायद।
Smash can be deployed, but he's just waiting for his teammates. His teammates are not there yet, and now without the Umbrella
इधर टायरेंट फाइट हो रहा है,
Outburst,
ऊपर
they
देखो ना,
can't go
ऊपर
in
वो
anytime
बंदा
soon.
टावर
And the
तोड़ते
Umbrella
जा रहा
Outburst
है।
has expired.
Yeah, has expired. He became small. He cannot tank too much
तोड़
damage
दिया
now.
शायद, एक
But
टावर
look at
तोड़
the
दिया।
area control from Suyog, making
इधर
sure no
teleport
one
हो
can
गया वो
flank from the
बंदा।
side. And he's trying to really punish Heno.
Nice,
And he
Suyog
manages
यार।
to go back. Yazan just right on time.
Oh, that was so
इसको
close.
बोलते हैं ना
Yazan almost
international
fell.
gameplay
But
भाई।
Jordan did take advantage of the middle
लेकिन यार
situation. They
इधर
take down
थोड़ा
the
सा
tower, now the rest of the party are
डिसएडवांटेज
coming
हो
in.
सकता है।
They
सब
know that
सब
they
टीम
know
आ गया। अरे नाइस
Umbrella
नाइस नाइस,
Outburst.
ये
And
क्या
now
डैमेज
Umbrella
देखने को मिल रहा है।
Outburst behind will be taken out by
ओहो
Swastik.
भाई,
What a
डैमेज अच्छा है ना
game
नेपाली
by
टीम का अभी
Swastik with the
देखो।
door to the death, opening
चलो
up
इसको भी
everything,
सीसी
and then the
नाइस
top
नाइस
yet.
नाइस नाइस
Muhammad
नाइस
now is gonna be that next
सुशील
target.
नाइस
Muhammad
लो
can't
नाइस
go anywhere, and Sushang will finish him off.
A very beautiful Tremor Smash coming in from
लेगा
Suyog.
ये गेम
The
नेपाली टीम का ही
timing,
आते
hitting everyone at the same time,
इस
knowing
game में।
that Zhang Fei doesn't have any Umbrella Outburst, gives them a huge advantage in that fight. 3,000 gold in front
Hero
from
player
the
है
corner
हमारा
pile,
नेपाली भाई लोग,
and I'm
hero
pretty sure
player।
they're feeling quite comfortable
देखो ना
now.
replay, देखो
The
ना।
cohesion from the team. This is the moment. The Tremor Smash coming in from Suyog. He's waiting for the right moment. He goes in. 3 people knock out with that dash, and then the smashing to the ground really sealed the deal.
डैमेज
that's
क्या ही
why
मार रहा है वो
Umbrella
सुशील
Outburst is
सुशील
such
का
an
डैमेज देखा।
important, expensive skill, right? You really need to know when to use it.
And when not to use it.
And when not to use it, exactly, right? The moment the opponent sees that,
स्वस्तिक
you
भाई
don't
ये
have
हाइपर
Umbrella
शायद,
Outburst,
हाइपर
okay,
अच्छा
that's all
खेलता है
in,
यार।
boys. They cannot counter engage onto us, and that's exactly what they did. And from then on, they follow up to get the Tyrant unchallenged.
एक तरफा देगा
because,
पूरा
well,
गेम,
everybody
एक
was still on
तरफा।
cooldown at the time.
And the prerequisite requirement for Liampo to become enhanced is for him to just receive any source of damage. That's when he meters goes full. But for Zhang Fei, as soon as his ultimate is activated,
इसे gameplay में तो
for
पूरा
a couple
copy
of
उठाएगा
seconds
यार।
is when he's gonna maintain as in this enlarged beast mode. So he really needs to be careful with the usage of his ultimate and the timing to go in. As
नहीं
long
नहीं
as
नहीं
his team is
सुशील मर
ready.
सकता है
Speaking
यहाँ।
on timing to go in, looks like they try to
सब
go
लोग
in
आके
onto the backline, but they're
मार
not able to
देता
get the
तो-
target. Here comes the Tremor Smash, but they will not commit
इतना
because
भी
the
aggressive
tower
होकर
is
खेलना
still
नहीं है।
active.
Yeah, tower is still there. It seems like the distance being kept by Sushil is quite efficient. He's managing to try to keep a distance away from everyone and dealing a massive amount of damage to
चलो, घुस
everyone
गया,
as
ठीक है
well.
अभी
With
नेपाली टीम।
4,000 gold lead for Nepal,
Nice
pretty
यार।
sure that they're feeling quite comfortable
गया tower।
trying to steamroll this game. But they really still have to be very careful, Cloud, because Umbrella Obus is one of the only few skills that can really turn the
Out
game
of
around,
9,
even though
5
you
tower
are
तोड़ चुके
10,000
हैं।
gold behind.
Oh yeah, absolutely, right? Because of the range, because of the width, and because of how long the stun will be if you're
Yeah.
caught into it.
The slow.
The slow, everything is packaged, right? And then he becomes like super tanky because he has that
Mohammad
extra
versus
shield as
Swastik।
well. And now
लेवल ही
focus
देखो ना
on to
स्वस्तिक
what's
का, 15
happening at the
लेवल हो
bottom.
चुके हैं।
Swastik and Mohammed dueling with each other, but it's not only Swastik. Here comes the rest of Team Nepal.
ला,
onto
सब लोग आ गए,
Mohammed.
अब तो
Surely
पोपट
he
है।
can't go anywhere, especially with the duel to
Nice
the
यार।
depth. And he
Teammate
will be
अच्छा है
taken
यार,
out
team
on
coordination
straight
अच्छा है नेपाली
to
टीम
Team
का
Nepal.
बहुत।
It's no longer a duel.
सुसंग
but
भाई
Sushil
बेटा है
is
चुराने
giving
के
a
लिए।
vision to his teammate.
Let's see
He actually
कौन
went
लेगा।
out trying to steal
ले
it.
लो,
Is this wise?
retreat।
That is his question.
किसने
A
लिया?
crucial
ओए!
deal coming in from
क्या
him.
steal किया यार
Sushang
सुसंग
feeling
ने?
very comfortable and he manages to survive that ordeal. He
Red
actually
वो
stole
मतलब
with just
स्टील
his
मारा यार
ultimate.
Just like that, he stole
Tyrant.
that one. Oh my goodness, and they're not stopping yet. Here
कसम
comes
से
the
अकेला
rest
बंदा
of the
बैठा था
ball.
और 3
They
बंदा
found
4
the
बंदा
third
मार रहा
one.
था ओपोनेंट का
Abbas next one to fall. That's gonna
बीच
be
में
the
घुस के
tower.
मार के
Team Jordan, they
चुरा
fight
के
back.
भाग भी गया
They do have good high ground advance thanks to Yazan, and they will still be able to hold on.
Yes, they will still be able to hold on. They're still waiting for the Shadow Vanguard to arrive in the top lane. And one of the heroes coming in from Jordan is actually down already for Ahmad. So they have to defend with 4 people only. The Shadow Vanguard is arriving at the top lane. So what are they going to do? The Zhangfei actually does have his Umbrella Always. They have to do something now.
Oh, okay. They have to clear it off quickly.
Hello.
Okay, I'm right Albus, maybe.
Nice.
And but they're still waiting for the right moment. Pain Rewind will be used now. Shishel, right now.
Wait, nice.
Sushil gets a free and
Minion नहीं आ रहा है ना?
Just like that, nobody's stopping Sushil.
Mahmoud actually went down, and I was expecting Umbrella Always to be used way earlier. He could have saved his friend, but he did not manage to do so. I think this is the discipline that they needed. Probably he's saving it for something else.
Mikey भाई,
We don't know,
hello?
but he's using it right now.
कितना बजे
And
से
this
हमारा
is to
stream मेरा तो
clear the
electricity गया
dragon, and there's another Vanguard coming in from the bottom and top
क्वालिटी
lane.
तो जापानीज
no,
था था यार
that's not a good way to use the umbrella.
और क्वालिटी राम्रै छैन
Without umbrella, Albus, see the bucket go lawless.
मेरा तो electricity
They
गया
catch
है।
one by one.
आता हूँ
Abba goes down.
ले लेगा,
Next is going to be
ऐसे ही।
Salaman. And now the crystal is wide open. The minutes are in. And Team Nepal will lock in game 1.
In a clean fashion that they do it as well, right? And with this
Easy game कर
specific
देना
win, Team Nepal eliminates the hopes of Jordan making it into the last chance stage. So this is an important win coming in from Team Nepal themselves.
Then they actually have the steal, by the way, from the Tyrant, right? So they actually managed to get that one. I think it's very important for him to actually try to achieve something out of that, to find another objective afterwards. But I was a bit questioning what happened with the Zhangfei now, because he did not manage to use it on time, but he's feeling very confident up on the stage.
Yeah,
Hello.
I mean,
नाइस गाइस
you called it.
पहला
right?
गेम
When
आ
they
चुका
had
है
the
ठीक है
fight at the top, right? Zhangfei could-
दूसरे
could have
गेम
used the
क्या
umbrella
होगा
Albus that
देखेंगे
moment.
बहुत इजी गेम था ना
Instead, he
नेपाली
used it
टीम
to
के लिए
clear the minion wave at the bottom, and when he used to clear the minion wave at the bottom, Team Nepal will be like, oh, umbrella Albus used.
It's our go time.
Let's go.
And
Coordination
they
ही
immediately
पूरा
jump on
अच्छा
towards
था ना,
Ahmad on
एकदम
the
balanced.
leader and just left no room, no crumbs for the side of Team Jordan to make a potential comeback here. So that is
Nice.
a really well executed game coming in from the side of Team Nepal. And especially, we gotta give props to where it's deserved, right? The Clash laner coming in from Nepal. He stole the Overlord. That was amazing, right? Under a 4v1 situation, yes, Mahmoud could have smited it, but you know, there's still the opportunity coming in from the Clash lane to actually steal away the objective. And he also found a 3-man Storm Strike flash towards that little team fight at that blue buff.
Yeah, definitely a great move coming in from him without any smite whatsoever. And if I'm not mistaken, at the time, I think they already had Primal Bond. Correct me if I'm wrong, because his teammates already got the other objective. So it's what a great move. The margin for the damage for him to find the perfect timing is very small. Very small.
Yeah, because of the primal bond especially, right?
Yes.
And also you are Byron. Like, Byron is not the most heavy damage sort of hero as
It's
well.
not a burst.
It's not a burst type of hero. So for you to get that one, it's like, wow, you really need to calculate to the end.
It's a bit of a coincidence. It's a bit of a reward towards those who actually try. And for Sushang,
Concord
he found it.
coincidence
He
बोल रहे
really
हो
found it. And those were the steals that you will never be able to imagine. Because what if Jordan
The
got
pure
it
skill
and
था
they
क्या
got to play the
coincidence
game for another 4 to 5 minutes that potentially would have given Ahmad or Yazan more items in towards that late game, because their composition is so item reliant, so item heavy. Look at the heroes that they drafted: Arlie, Heino, and the Fatih. All of them need so many items.
Yeah, that's true actually, except for Atta maybe, but Atta alone cannot really just carry the entire team throughout the early part of the match. But I actually was hoping for Atta to be much more aggressive coming in from Mahmoud in the beginning of the game, to actually try to find more space and play around with Zhangfei, but I don't think that happened too often.
I think the Zhangfei on when to use the Umbrella Albus, it wasn't only about the last moment, right? There was also a moment in the middle as well that they want to engage for the Tyrant fight, and then he used the Umbrella Albus, and then the opposing side was still like scattered everywhere. It's like, oh, okay, then we wait for your Umbrella Albus to expire, and then we start to fight again, sort of situation.
Which teams are populated really well, right? It's like, okay, they bait out the unbridled outburst like you mentioned, and then they kited it around. When it's down, they're like, okay, it takes a while for it to stack up again with the madness stacks that you guys mentioned.
second game
so
jaldi
they
jaldi
took
khatam
advantage of it and
karo yaar.
punished the other members coming in for the side of Jordan. Because if you were to look towards the side, once the unbridled outburst is down from the Zhang Fei, there's not a lot of crowd control circulating around Jordan's team composition.
Yeah, and I do agree with you the fact that maybe Jordan should slow down on the hero picks with the late game composition, and I think it's gonna be very good if they could take an earlier heroes for the game one. But this is gonna be the statistics coming in from Nepal and also Jordan.
अच्छा खेला है
BJ
Jungler
with
भी
very
अच्छा
high
था।
damage coming in from the Legion.
Jungler अच्छा
Again, I would love to
था,
see the
tank
Legion
अच्छा
second
था,
skill
mage भी
combo
अच्छा ही
with
था।
the first skill. It's always has been one of the biggest
अच्छा
problems
लगा यार
for
मेरे को
anyone
नेपाली टीम
out
का
there
गेम तो।
because the skill set from the Legion, you can't really see the ball bouncing around. So it's like a
बाकी
hidden
Jordan
damage because the damage is huge.
Jordan
Single
का out
target,
हो गया ना
bouncing
शायद।
from your friends to minion to the tower and to the first skill of the Legion as well.
Yeah, I agree because that's a very annoying skill, right? Especially when, well, my main hero is like, you know, late pin savior, and then you go in, and then you're always together with your teammate, and then that ball bounces out, and then it's like, oh my goodness, it's a counter to the leaping savior if you kind of think about it to a certain extent. So yeah, it is very, very annoying. So you have that to a certain extent counter the Zhang Fei. Yeah, and the rest is history from there.
It was pretty difficult as well coming in for the side of Mahmoud to really pilot out that Ata, considering the fact that every time he goes in, there's Destructive Deluge just laying down on his head, and then the stun card coming in for the DNG, just making it really annoying for a frontline to actually dive in towards specific positions that he wants to be getting those team fights in. And you can see towards this growth graph, yes, it's not the most demanding and commanding one, but it was piece by piece, and they played it really well up until the very end.
Yeah, piece by piece and full of peace because there was not much of a team fight from the beginning until they hit into the 5 minutes mark, which everything all hell goes loose, right? Because they really focus on the team fight non-stop, and we were all just very focused and very crucial about all the team fights that they're trying to take, comparing how Zhang Fei uses his ultimate versus the Lian Po. I think now we can see maybe some of the downsides of Zhang Fei.
Yeah, I guess we can look at it from the highlights perspective as well, right? And when it was used, especially the Unbridled Outburst. So this is the moment that the Unbridled Outburst was still on cooldown, and the enemy knows that. When they know that, they just go all in, duel to the death, started off. At the same time, the terrain wasn't helping them because of that wall. They cannot escape, they have to group up together, and Team Jordan just followed up.
And Sushang was so crucial in that play, right? He just got that 3-man knockup with the knockup coming in with the Storm Strike here. And this was okay. Because Muhammad was like stalling so much time for his team in the cross lane, giving them a 1v4 situation at the top side. But Sushang came in with the steal, which is unexpected coming in for the side of Team Jordan.
Unexpected for sure. I think Sushang actually going forward towards objective and using his ultimate and manages to survive, I might add. He survived 4 people surrounding him, and that's just something to really talk about. And of course, in this area, this is where Zhang Fei didn't use his ultimate at the top lane, and everything starts to fall from that point onwards.
Game start होने थोड़ा सा time लगेगा
शायद. Okay, yeah, definitely the MVP. Yeah, I mean, he came up with the steal, right? Yeah, with the steal, MVP, and being a Byron, he's more of a tanky sort of hero. So damage taken 31.2% is definitely up there. But yeah, I'm definitely okay with his steal.
Okay with the steal, 3-man knockup just now in that little quadrant of that team fight that really pushed his team towards that victory. So this guy, I gotta say, KDA-wise, it's pretty flat, but when it comes down to the key moments, he stood up not once, but twice.
Yeah, and to be honest, with the damage taken 31%, this is something that people don't really talk so often. That's a lot amount of damage, and that really soaks up a lot of skills coming in from the other side of the team, making sure that his team doesn't have to go through what his shield from his ultimate has to go through.
Oh man. Okay, would it have been different if he didn't go for the steal?
Would have been. I would say that if
be longer.
Jordan would have got the Overlord, maybe they could have delayed the game for about 2 or 3 more minutes, because the minion wave is just gonna be more in control coming in from Jordan, which Yazan and also the Arlie coming in for the side of Ahmad could have had more time to scale into those big items.
Makes sense. Yeah, because like what you also pointed out, right? Like their heroes are very item dependent, right? So they just need to drag more time there. The more time they can drag, scaling into the late game will do wonders for them. But considering that we didn't go too far into the late game, right? Maybe in the next round, something for Team Jordan to consider is that draft something that can still win the early to mid game more.
Something that the heroes doesn't really need too much of itemization.
Yeah.
Maybe don't really rely on these kind of stuff. Maybe like Frost, Wang Zhaojun in the mid lane, or again with Atta. Nothing's wrong with Atta, by the way. I think Atta is a very early hero, right, Sagi? I think Atta is quite early, and also maybe farm lanes that doesn't really need to scale too much as well, because Arlie is very item dependent. Trying to find a lot of space to go in is gonna be very difficult for him. Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, they definitely have to revisit their draft later on in Game 2 itself, because from Game 1, that comfort that they actually enjoy, which is the Hano mid lane, and then converting the farm lane, which is Ahmad, on a Arlie, Lady Sun, or a power pusher, it didn't work out, because usually we see that Yazan actually had a pretty decent early game. He was consistently pressing Sushil's Dirinje in that bottom lane, but they just couldn't convert that lead into any sizable gold lead in the later stages of the game. And then team fights wise, I would say there was not a lot of team fights. It was mainly just pickoffs coming in from the side of Team Nepal against Jordan, forcing uncomfortable number disadvantage for the side of Jordan.
If only Janfei or Jordan actually try to be much more aggressive and not be too
बारिश हो गया यार सारे दिन
conservative with the skill sets that they have. But yeah.
बारिश होने वाला है मेरे
And,
जगह पे
we will see.
अरे यार अभी तक गेम स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है
I mean, all good, right, for now. If we were to check out the upcoming game coming in for the side of Jordan, right, for them specifically, right, there's no more chance of making it to the official event, because as of now, they have already lost the potential of forcing a three-way tie coming in for their respective Group B. So unfortunately, this is where their roads end. But they still have one game up ahead. Whether or not they can actually force a comeback in the series is what we're exactly looking forward to.
Yeah. And we will definitely be looking forward to this next game for sure. We would love to see another comeback, but there's a lot of they won't be able to do it anymore.
Yeah, but you know where we'll be able to do everything here?
Oh.
Yeah, it's our official venue for the Asian Games Esports Qualifiers Honor of Kings for 2026. This is a Petaling Giant Marriott Hotel, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where all the players are currently at, and where we are also broadcasting this live as well. And this is where all the players get to stay for the past week and also for the next few more days.
It has been an amazing stay
Zerox
thus far,
भैया
coming
मैं
in at the
WG
Petaling
error
Giant
हूँ।
Marriott Hotel, and the
अच्छा।
AC here.
Welcome
really
to the
killing
stream.
it. Every day I come in, my hands are cold, and you know for a fact that if you have a good JC, your sleep is definitely going to be improved.
Very much improved, definitely. But at the same time, with that first win from Nepal, correct me if I'm wrong, Sagi, but I think there's no more possibility for
अब फिर से दूसरा गेम होने वाला है नेपाल वर्सेस जॉर्डन का। पहला गेम नेपाल ने एक गेम जीत चुका है।
Jordan has to win 2-0 for the three-way tie to actually happen. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes next. Is it going to be 2-0, or Jordan's going to try to steal at least one game out from Nepal? But it seems like Jordan has chosen to go with the blue, is that?
Yeah, blue side. Yeah, so they will get the
Blue
first
side
pick
is
here,
Jordan.
right?
Nepal
So
का
whatever
भी red
it
side
is,
है।
right? It is still a tournament. It is still a stage. There will still be fans watching and wanting them to do well. And I'm pretty sure Jordan, whatever it is, and the result of the group, they will still want to put their best foot forward for the fans.
I think it's definitely for the fans, and not only the fans, it's also for your region as a whole. You're representing not only your club, but this time around, your entire region. They're backing you up coming in for this
Round 2
tournament
start
here.
होने वाला है,
So
ठीक है
even if
दोस्तों।
it's the final
Picking time
game, you go out
होने
with
वाला है
that.
शायद।
Yeah, definitely. And we will see
the
how
ban and
the
pick.
draft goes on in this one. We have the Guan Yu and the Mai Sharnui that has been banned from the side of Jordan. We also have Dolia and Nepal from the side of Nepal, with Garuda as well, that has been taken out.
Oh, and we're going to get the first pick here by Jordan. Hope it's not a Dirinje, because the channel is open. It's not too bad. You pick the channel, you will force the ball to not pick the Arlie at least, because
Picking
it's a
time है,
direct
ठीक है?
counter
Game
during
शुरू
the
नहीं हुआ है
laning
अभी
stage, so
just।
something for them to consider. But they're going to go back with the Zhangfei again. What your thoughts, Sagi?
I mean, it's going back to comfort, right? maybe like the Lampo or the Lapu is not something that they are really used to, so they would still want to go for something that they are really confident in, which is the Zhangfei in Jordan's case. And for Team Nepal, if it's not broken, why bother fixing it? Let's run it back with it once again on the Direnjit, and also the MVP performance on the side of Su Shang on that Byron.
Yes, and the Byron is going to be taken again. The same thing with Zhangfei as well, taking from the side of Jordan, because it also works for them, honestly, just now. And the fact that they want to try it again to make sure that, you know, we want to prove that it is actually a very good hero for our side. But also, again, the Lianpo from Nepal as well. I think this saying that we keep on saying over and over again, if it's not broken, why fix it? I think it's starting to become true and true.
Well, at least there's a few changes here for Team Jordan, right? Is that they managed to bring in the Liu Bang.
संग ने वही कैरेक्टर लिया है, स्वस्तिक ने भी शायद वही लिया है.
It's a good combination with the Musashi. Musashi goes in with the duel to the death, and Liu Bang just battlefield commands and just extra support, and then they can just chase anybody down at that time, especially the Direnjit, because you don't want to get the Direnjit hitting from behind. So ideally you want to try to catch, but it's also situational. If you're able to group them up like how we saw in the previous game, you go in with the duel to the death plus the Liu Bang's battlefield command. Can you imagine the explosive damage that can happen?
It's like a delivery system, right? And especially on a Direnjit, it's not the most mobile of the farm lanes or carries that actually avoid these sort of hard engage coming in from Jordan. So if they can pull the trigger correctly and execute it well on this combo, it's going to be a pretty difficult situation on BJ, on his potential mage hero that's going to pick, or the side of Sushio that he has already locked in at Direnjit.
Yeah, and having the Angela also have been banned out, and including the Chow Chow, is going to be quite a good ban coming in from Nepal, trying to reduce a lot of burst from Jordan's side. Also, we do have Princess Frost being taken out from Jordan. Both sides are actually focusing a lot on the mid lanes, even though they haven't picked it just yet. It's really trying to reduce to see who has the better hero pool from the mid lane from both sides of the team. And there
कौन जीतेगा guys इस game में?
Zia, which is
Guess करो.
a very good hero to clear lanes, but in terms of trying to deal damage toward heroes, not really.
Well, at least you have that clearing capability, right? Because based on the other heroes that Team Nepal has picked so far, it's not really a good lane clearer. So looking at, we are going to see the Marco Polo and the Shangguan as the final pick here. Interesting, we don't get to see many Shangguans.
This is our second one of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken here. The last one that we saw, I think it was coming from the side of full of Keens with the Shangguan Dolia combo, where they found relevant success. And this is one of those few rare moments where you see a Shangguan without the pairing of the Dolia here. So it might be a confident pick coming in from Yazan, wanting to really shut down Sushil on that side lane on the Direnjit. Because Shangguan, yes, you're not the greatest hero before level 4, but once you hit that level 4, it's where you can either start snowballing or start losing control of the game.
You know, this is when we start to see Jordan really feels the pressure is off of their back. So they want to try their very best to, you know, just have fun up on the stage and try to do their best and not really try to force things out according to what's the current meta and whatnot. So, Sagi, before we let you go, which one do you think has the better composition if you're not looking at the team?
Oh, I gotta say, Jordan's draft looks so proactive in this case, but it really boils down to execution, you know? And execution is definitely something that Jordan needs to learn before they play the final game.
And again, where Sagi is coming from, right? Especially if you have the Musashi together with the Liu Bang together, and then you have the Unbridled Albers, which is a very, very big CC. Now you have two backline heroes from Team Nepal, right, that you need to kind of think of, right? The Zia and also the Direnjit. So for the Musashi, ideally is that, okay, you try to find a duel to the death behind, and then the Liu Bang follows up, because you don't want the universal law, free hit, and Sushi just free hitting from behind. You want to take them down as quickly as possible, because the rest of them are 3 tags in front. You want to try to ignore the 3 tags as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
क्या होगा कमबैक होगा क्या जॉर्डन भाई लोग का या हमारा नेपाली टीम
at the bottom lane and trying to get as much as damage as possible.
देख चुके हैं ना हम नेपाली टीम का
The
गेम.
rotation coming in from BJ, trying to clear the jungle as fast as they can, trying to make sure that it doesn't get stolen. I think it's a very good move coming in from them and not really risking any unnecessary moves, I might add, coming in from both sides of the team. And usually we can see Jordan and Nepal, both of them don't want to start any unnecessary fights until we get to the point of minute 4. The 4-minute mark, it is when the Tyrant comes up.
इच्छी पे जैसा है उसका मारने का इफेक्ट देखा वो माइकी
Yeah.
तो इंकिंग वाला फेंकता है ना इच्छी पे Zerox कार्ड का
Yeah, the Butterfly Command and
उसी का
through
thing है
that is gonna be a very good combo, very scary as well. So
इसका देखो ना साले में का देखो ना कैरेक्टर पूरा स्कॉर्पियन जैसा है वो
especially when Muhammad has his itemization to deal a lot of damage. Usually, a Liu Bang would do breakthrough rope or burst word, trying to get a lot of HP and then convert that into much more defense for physical and magical defense.
Oh, I probably want to add one more, right? Because Ahmad, he brought the stun for the Marco Polo. So after all the duel to the death and everything comes in, they want to top up some more. They just
guys हम सपोर्ट करेंगे नेपाली टीम को ठीक है सब लोग नेपाल चैट पे स्पैम करो
That's it. I mean, in the ideal situation that can happen only if they can catch like 4 or 5 people together.
जंगलर वो है शायद
Jank with this Byron.
स्वस्तिक
We
है
love
इस बार हाँ
this
स्वस्तिक खेल रहा
being played by
है लास्ट टाइम
Jank. We
सुशांग ने
know
खेला
that
था
he's
शायद
very comfortable with his hero and he knows on how to really maximize the utility coming in from the shield that he has, the crowd control, the swinging first skill, trying to regenerate with the recovery that he has. I think even though it looks like a very straightforward hero, very easy to use, but actually it is not because the range of the skills, the area of effect is
अच्छा
not as
फार्मिंग कर
big
रहा है
as
नेपाली लोगों का
other
देखो
heroes.
Yeah,
थोड़ा सा
that's
lead में
right. So it really depends on how the opposing side also position themselves, right? So there's a lot of this very timing sort of scenarios that when do you actually use your skills? Now, timing-wise,
from
30 more seconds, you're going to
Azerbaijan.
see the Tyrant up, and
Love
this
you
is
too,
where we
bro.
can expect like all
Keep
the big skills
watching.
being used. It almost feels like this round is like
Nepal
round
will
number
win.
one. Early
Pakka,
game,
guys.
both sides
Are
don't
you
want
sure?
to pull the trigger yet.
Yeah, definitely. We have
मुझे
this
भी लग रहा है
Yako
नेपाली टीम ही
getting
जीतेगा
idea
इस
up
गेम में
front. Suyok is trying to be closer to the wall. Look
Oh
at
no.
this second racing very early on.
अरे अरे
coming from
क्या
Nepal's
फ्लिकर
side,
शॉट
and
मार रहा
they
है oh
really
my god
try to use all the skills that they have as soon as
देखो
they
ना
can.
देखो ना
Yazan actually managed
अच्छा
to
है
fly
यार
up
गेम
high this
सेंस
guy,
अच्छा है
trying
नेपाली
to
टीम
avoid
का
any damage coming in from the circuit trade racing. In a way, using it like a Yuhuan's ultimate.
उतना पोक करके भी भाई बाहर निकल आया ना अब मर गया अच्छा अरे रेड टीम है नेपाल हाँ मैं तो नोटिस ही नहीं किया था
A very quick reaction coming in from Suyok. Very dangerous roamer.
कैरेक्टर ही देख रहा था
The first kill, the splendid revolver of Marco Polo. Ahmad trying to find his target.
चलो एक लीड हो
Very
चुका है
versatile
नेपाली
trying
टीम का
to zone
एक
them towards the front. 4 versus 2. Are they gonna dive in?
और
Suyok doesn't have his
भाई
ultimate. Tremor Smash is not there, but Umbrella Obus has been
अरे
used
बाप
trying
रे
to
वो
save
देखो
the
ना
tower as soon as they can. There's
इसका
no
ultimate
rotation
form खुल
coming in
चुका
from
है
Jordan, trying to save them in the bottom lane. This is the last minion. They managed to clear it off without any casualty.
Okay, Tremor Smash, sorry, Umbrella Outburst with the objective of clearing out the minion wave. To me, it's a bit. To me, it's better.
I think he has to.
You think he has to?
Yeah, I think he has to because there's only 2 of them, Cloud. If he doesn't do that, I'm not sure how they can pull it off.
नाइस
but they managed to pull off a
नाइस
Tremor Smash
मारो
here,
मारो
and now
रेड
Salam have
टीम
could be
रेड है
in
ठीक है
trouble, but
हमारा
lucky
हमारा
enough for him, he
सपोर्ट
is
टीम
tanky
रेड है
enough
ठीक
to
है
walk away to safety, and
ये
his
वाले
teammate Ahmad survived as
गुंडा है
well.
ठीक है
Yeah, I like how actually Ahmad used all of
ला
his
सुशील
attack
नहीं
away,
नहीं
but
नहीं
oh,
अरे
finals,
क्या बचा यार
trying to find
सुशील
the target, but he did not manage to get Sushil. Sushil managed to run away.
Nice
just
यार
in the nick
एक
of
भी किल
time.
मत दो
The damage
नेपाली
coming
भाई
in
लोग
from Yazan is not enough just yet, but it really seems like he's quite comfortable using Shangguan. It's very difficult to really control the analog, trying to find the direction of the dashes, making sure that he has 5 stacks so that he can fly longer and put out a lot of outputs of damage with the projectiles. But it seems like he's not having too much of a problem.
Oh, that was so lucky of Sushil. Earlier on, he almost went down. He was down to his almost about 10% of health left, and he managed to survive that. But anyway, right now, it looks like Team Jordan, they are waiting in the brushes for the right moment. Even Suyong's on the other side, he's just planting himself there as a kind of like a scout, but Swastik showed himself.
Yeah.
Okay, lucky enough, he saw that one, so he will not be baited by Yazan or anyone else.
Looking at the fog of vision just now, they don't know that Suyok was there. Suyok is still hiding in the right place, but Ahmad dashing just in the right spot, trying to avoid any problems if there's anyone in there. But it seems like The Fatih is coming from the back. Circuit tree blessing has not been used yet. Where's the help coming in from the team?
Yep, do it to the
Nice.
death all by himself, and his team is one
Nice.
to follow
अरे,
up.
कोई मरा
Unfortunately, now
नेपाली
they're trying
team
to fight
से.
back, but it's a little bit too late. And Team Nepal
Nice.
took out 4 from Team
कोई ना.
Jordan.
A very good fight
एक
coming
point
in
जाने
from
से.
Nepal. They actually managed to force this one out because the bait that was
5
done
हो
by
गया शायद. कौन
Swastik.
मारा गया था?
Swastik was just already. He pulled them towards him, and everyone was like, "What is he doing right in front of us?" And there you go. Here comes the follow-up from the entire team.
Swastik मर गया.
And Marco
Swastik
actually
ने
almost
bait
managed to get a
ले
lot
लिया ना.
of strikes, but he
अपने
was
teammates
stopped
के लिए.
immediately.
But
And
फिर भी
Mohammed
फाइट
was
तो
not
जीता है.
ready to follow up with the Battlefield
Trading,
Command.
trading.
And now he is alone in the middle. Okay, Battlefield Command just back to Yazan. A short distance, but he's still safe because of that.
We have to remember the cooldown of Battlefield Command is very long, Cloud. It's very long. It's not short. So he has to be very careful with this one, not to just simply use it. But we can also watch on how they're trying to pressure in the Azure Golem area. It's going to be giving a hard time for Mahmoud to do anything.
So no Battlefield Command for quite a while. That means the duel to the death goes in. Team Nepal would expect that, okay, Liuba is not going to follow up as quickly as they would have liked. So now it's more of a defensive stance for Team Jordan until the Battlefield Command is up. But for how long? Because Team Nepal, they're pushing.
Yeah, and they're trying to find a space,
Okay.
trying to go in. But look at Fatih. He's going to dive right in. He knows Final Throw has been used. But the favorite barrage!
Oh, nice,
Perfect
Sushil.
timing from him. Even though there's a trigger tree blasting, no
गया.
one's there
नहीं,
to
नहीं,
stop
नहीं,
him.
नहीं.
All the first skill knockups coming in from the Fatih has been used, Cloud. He calculated everything.
Oh, but the fight's not over yet, though. Universal Law from the side will allow BJ to get that double strike, just like that onto Mahmoud. And now by clearing up a couple of eliminations at the side, Team Nepal, they switch their attention to the other side of the map.
Yeah, very good rotation coming in from them. They really want to try to pressure as much as they can. And Swastik is going to try to make his way slowly towards the base of Jordan from the bottom lane. And it seems like they're going to try their
इन
best.
सिम्पल यो गेम कसरी जित्ने हो यो गेममा टावर हुन्छ आफ्नो साइडको अरूको साइडको पनि टावर हुन्छ त्यो टावरलाई प्रोटेक्ट गर्दै अरूको साइडको पनि टावर तोड्दै अरूलाई किल गर्दै टिम कोअर्डिनेसन 5 जना हुन्छ त्यसरी जित्ने हो
for him to go forward, move forward and find more space and try to hit that resplendent revolver a lot of times before he finally goes in with a favorite barrage.
Yeah, they
हेर्नु
need
मन
to
लागेछ
try
भने Honor
to
of King
bait
game
out,
download
especially
गरेर
at
try
Travel
गर्नु होला
Smash Burst, right? Because
Yeah.
Honor of
he
King
didn't bring the Pure
download
Fire.
गरेर
He
try
brought
गर्छ
the
त्यो
stun
आफ्नो
instead. So
Yeah.
when he goes in, he must be confident that, okay, nobody else is going to stop his fervor barrage.
Yeah. Also, Suyog with the Umbrella Outburst this time. It seems like I'm sorry, Suyog with the Tremor Smash this time. It seems like he's very consistent with it, such as the last match as well. And Salame with the Umbrella Outburst, he's still not being aggressive. He's still being very defensive, very conservative with the skill set that he has. There's only 1 minute right here. They have
Nepali
to clear
team
out as soon as they can. There's one more
जितेगा
wave
ये
coming in as well.
देख लेना
And at the same time, Mohammed is doing what Liu Bang does
टावर
best at
फुट
the
गया
side.
नाइस
But Trustic took down the tower, and
Mid
that's going to be
tower,
one
mid tower
down.
में
Now
जाओ
they will put their focus onto the middle, but the minions are not there yet, so they will pull the handbrake.
Yeah, true. Venomous Staff has been bought by
FIFA अभी तो
BJ
खुला है.
and still having this Muhammad down in the bottom lane doing a split push, which is going to be very effective because he does have the Battlefield Command trying to run away. I think if they keep up with this kind of 4-1 formation, it's going to be very interesting for them to try to get the a lot of damage in that way.
And now,
कितना बड़ा है यार
objective gameplay here by Team
Dominant गाड़ा है
Nepal. They
ज्यादा
should be able to
वजह से।
secure the overlord unchallenged. We'll see Team Jordan able to come close. And plus, their
मोबाइल लेजेंड
objective
जैसा
right
है
now is that they want to try to
सेम
beat
चीज़ है इसमें
Musti.
अलग
That's why
यही है
you
कि
see
बस हीरो
Muhammad
अलग होता है
at the bottom
थोड़ा
lane
थोड़ा
and
जगह
just
जगह
pressure
सेम भी
that
है
lane.
थोड़ा
Team Nepal
दो जगह
come
पे
back.
वो होता है
Yeah. This
स्पॉन
will
होता है
cause
टायरेंट
Nepal to
वगैरह
have to send at
टायरेंट
least
टर्टल
one
जैसे होता है
or
ना
two
लॉर्ड
resources
वगैरह
or their heroes
दो जगह पे स्पॉन
towards the
होता है
bottom lane, trying to make sure
एंड
that
सेम वही
he's not
टीम
gonna go
कोऑर्डिनेशन
down
करके
for
खेलना है
free,
बस
and
कैरेक्टर
that
अलग
will
अलग
keep them
स्किल अलग अलग होता
occupied,
है
not be able to focus on their
रोल सेम
core
होता है
objective, which
5
is to
रोल
destroy the crystal
अपना
of
अपना होता है
Jordan, which is
गोल्ड
very
लेन
smart,
मिड
right?
लेन
See, this
फाइटिंग
is what
लेन
we're going to be
जंगल
saying a
लेन
lot, and it's going to be very effective for Jordan. If they keep on
Tank
repeating
lane.
this might work out very
Roaming.
well for them.
Okay, but they
Same
need
here.
to find another advantage because right now it looks like they're trying to find an advantage in terms of taking this fight. By Yazan! Flash the safety just at the nick of time! Woo!
The Tremor Smash has been
7
wasted
though.
trying to just get one hero. I'm not sure if that's the best thing to do, but they still have a second trade messing. A very good Unbridled Outburst has just been got.
ला सुशांक गया
That's going to be the question. Sushang! Moving target.
सुशांक
Do to the left.
गया लेकिन नाइस
But BJ is there.
BJ,
ready to
nice.
deal the damage from behind as well as Salame will fall. But still they
ओहो
fall. And here comes Yazan!
याजन ने
That's the
क्या
defeat
ही
of the
खेला यार
first
यहाँ
day.
लेकिन
The final stroke is just on point, and we have
Yazan
to
ने
remember
खतरा
all of
खेला
this
ना इधर
happens because
थोड़ा
of
दिमाग
Yazan.
लगा के खेला
He
उसका
actually
अल्टीमेट
managed to beat the
उसका जैसा है ना
Travis
क्या
match coming
बोलते
in
हैं
from Su Yong early on, causing them not to
किसका
have
होता है यार
any
इसका
major
ऐसा
crowd
अल्टीमेट तो
control in this situation.
1-1
And
का
this is
जैसा
exactly
अल्टीमेट था
what
ना
happened. They went in.
देखो ना माइकी
Travis
1-1
Smash
का
is
ऐसा
not here
अल्टीमेट था
anymore. A
देखो हाँ
very
ये
good
देखो ये
favorite
देखो
barrage going into the back, but
अभी
Muhammad
अभी
will go
मारेगा
down
वैसे
because of the dual
ये
to
देखो
death is
अल्टीमेट
quite too far
ये
to
देखो
back.
ना
But the
एक
follow-up
बार
from
में दो
Yazan,
झटका
his
खुद भी
renewed
इनविजिबल और बाकी लोगों को
ultimate
डैमेज
allowed
दिया
him to get another kill.
And Team Jordan got a bit of help from
पागल
their
M10
tower as
क्या
well.
रियल है नहीं वो
So
फेक है
that gave them a big advantage towards winning that fight. And by winning the fight, they kept their tower
ज़रूर
alive.
भाई आपका बड़ा
And
फैन
they
हूँ
can play this
मैं
game
थैंक यू
longer,
भाई
so they
इसे
can
देखते
farm even
रहना
more.
इसे
Who
सपोर्ट
knows?
करते रहना
They could even catch up to the goal. Now they are starting to close the goal gap from like what?
अभी क्या बोला
6,000, 7,000 to now about
हाँ
3,000.
Yeah, 4,000
क्या रियल है क्या
gold
था
actually, which is quite a huge amount of
क्या रियल
number
है
for
मतलब
sure. We still have
पागल
Yazan
M10
down
ना वो
below.
फेक है
Travis Smash not
रियल
gonna
नहीं है
waste
पागल
space time,
हाँ,
and
ठीक है
Titan
वो
has
तो।
been taken quite cleanly, I might add, and we're still waiting
सैटो
for that
टायरेंट ले लिया
opportunity
स्वस्तिक ने
had
नाइस
by him. We
नेपाली
still
टीम
don't
अब
have
भी
it
लीड
yet.
में है
Don't have it yet.
और
He
फाइट
needs a
शायद
couple
ये
more
फाइट
clicks,
नेपाली
but
टीम ले सकता है ये
unfortunately,
देख सकते
he's
हैं
not
यार
able to get that
दोस्तों
one in time, and he will be taken down.
Okay.
Salame will need to wait for about 30 more seconds before he
जीत
comes
जाएगा
back. But
जीत
at
गया अब
least by the
तो
time he comes back, the Umbrella Office will be ready.
I agree with that one. Muhammad is going to try to clear the top lane as soon as he can and try to pull attention towards him.
डिफेंड
to
करने
at
का
least
अच्छा
give a breathing
कोशिश
space to
से
his teammates. But
Oh,
look at
Yazan
that.
जॉर्डन से भी
Oh,
लेकिन
Has
नहीं यार
tried to
याजन
be
को मार दिया
used, but it seems like they're going to be able to take Yazan
याजन को
down
मार दिया
with the
मतलब
1 million
अब
left.
मुश्किल है
Can
अब
they
मुश्किल
destroy
है
this crystal?
10 more seconds for Salame to come back.
गया
They
गया
need
गया
Salame. They
जीत
need the
जाएगा
Umbrella Office right now to try and shoot them away. The minions are marching
Nice,
in,
यार,
but
जीत
see the
गया
foul.
नेपाली वाले।
They will force that tower in the
नाइस
middle right
चलो
now. It's
चलो
time for
चलो
them to
चलो
go
चलो
in and
चलो
see the
गेम
foul
एंड
taking
गेम
this
एंड
fight. Umbrella Office is ready,
ओके
but will it be too late?
एंड
The crystal still stands.
ओए थोड़ा सा
Will it
बेस
still stand? It's still,
Base.
it's still.
Nice, यार।
But not for long. See the power.
Nice, यार,
will
दोस्तों,
still claim
चलो।
the victory.
नेपाली टीम का विक्ट्री हो चुका है गाइस
Win here coming
बहुत
in
बवाल
from
खेला
Team
यार
Nepal,
इन्होंने
but Jordan still tried to deliver
कंग्रेचुलेसन
the
यार
best
सभी
performance.
पांचों
Yazan
प्लेयर को यार
tried
हमारे
as
नेपाली
much as
भाई
he
लोग
could
गया है
on that
इतना
shot
बड़ा
one,
स्टेज
but
पे
too
इंटरनेशनल
little
स्टेज
too
पे
late.
जाके
This is where
मतलब
Road
नेपाली
10 coming in
लोगों का नेपाल
for Team
कंट्री का
Jordan
नाम
coming
रोशन
in
कर
for
रहा है
his
यार
qualifiers.
इतना
It's very sad to see that
Salute
he
है
finished
यार।
out, but in the last game of the last
मतलब
match,
गेम भी
I
तो
would
पूरा
love
एक
to see
तरफा
that
खेला है ना
going
इन
on
लोगों ने
if he had more
Nice,
confidence
यार।
with it. But actually,
इतना
a
तो
very
होना
good shot
चाहिए।
coming in from Jordan, and they actually proved that, you know
चलो
what,
नेपाली
they
टीम
can
जीत
नेपाल
लिया
टीम
ठीक है अभी
confidence
इंडोनेशिया का
and
मैं गेम
still
गेम
have
देखते हैं ठीक है
probably a bit too
हमारा
passionate.
इंडोनेशिया के
नेपाली
साइड
टीम
अभी
का
चलेगा
थोड़ा
I guess
young है
the Sean
और
Kwan
उन
pick,
लोगों का
right?
थोड़ा
Was,
age है
it wasn't
मतलब कुछ ज्यादा
that
बड़ा
bad. I mean, it was good. There were good moments here from the Shangguan. I would have liked to see more Shangguans before this, right? But anyway, the past is
Shekhar
past,
bhai
right?
bhi aa gaye.
All we can do is
Shekhar
right
bhai.
now just to look forward. And Team Jordan, actually, they played a really good game, especially on the defense.
जॉर्डन ने ट्राई तो
They
किया
had
था
a lot of
बट
moments, right, where we saw the fact that Jordan, they were pressured by the
इतना अच्छा
shadow
टीम था ना
overload
आगे
waves
नेपाली
coming
टीम
in by the side of Team
नहीं कर
Nepal.
पाए।
And then
सीधी बात
Yazan plus the ultimate coming in from the Liu Bang, that combination dove straight towards the backline and got that triple strike. It's not about I think, it's about what they
हेलो
do,
हेलो
because
अभी वो
your
क्या बोलते हैं
answer can
इंडोनेशिया का
be
गेम है गाइस
given depending
नेपाली
on the
टीम जीत
winner
लिया
of
ठीक है
this
इंडोनेशिया
series.
वर्सेस
It's Indonesia
फिलीपींस
going up against Philippines,
का गेम
and
होने
let's
वाला है
welcome this match with
तो
them right
इनका
now
भी
with
गेम
this
देखते
teaser
हैं
video
ठीक
on
है
the stage.
इंडोनेशिया फिलीपींस मतलब ऐसे ये गेम जो है ना हॉनर ऑफ किंग मोबा इनमें बहुत खतरनाक है उन लोगों का टीम इंडोनेशिया से भी फिलीपींस बहुत खेलते हैं मतलब अरे भाई देखो रिसात का जुड़वा आ गया इधर ओ भाई ये रिसात लग रहा है देख रहे हो माइकी
हाँ
नेपाल टीम ने कितना मैच जीता जेरक्स भाई 2 गेम जीता ना बेस्ट ऑफ 3 में तो उन लोगों का विक्ट्री है अगले मैच के लिए अच्छा है उन लोगों का सेलेक्टेड है चलो फिलीपींस का ठीक है एंट्री शैमी ड्रैगन चार्ल्स गोल्डन जस्टिन रियल नेम है या निकनेम है? गेम निकनेम इन लोगों
Every
का।
match, another statement. Every victory, another reminder.
चलो एंट्री कर चुके हैं इंडोनेशियन टीम्स। माइकी भाई, कौन सा टीम का सपोर्ट तुम?
Their momentum
मैं।
continues to build,
इंडोनेशिया या
and they
फिलीपींस?
show no signs of slowing down. Give it up for
इंडोनेशियन लोग
Indonesia!
अच्छा ही खेलता है, फिलीपींस भी अच्छा ही खेलता है। दोनों में से क्या बोला यार, हार्ड है ये गेम तो।
Records have fallen. Opponents have tried and failed to
टक्कर
stop
का मैच होगा बहुत
with an
देखना।
incredible
टक्कर का
win
तो
streak
होगा।
and performance that
चलो मैं फिलीपींस
continues
के
to
साइड,
set
ठीक
the
है?
standard. They enter the arena once again, looking to make history.
अरे भाई
Here
सारे के
come
सारे
the
पतले पतले
challenger,
निकले।
Philippines!
फिलीपींस में एक
The
मोटा है।
battle begins between Philippines and Indonesia. The top two
बाप रे,
teams coming in
एक
from
देखो ना
Group
रेड
A.
टीम का,
One
रिशाद भाई
will
जैसा
claim
मोटा है।
top spot and the other will claim another defeat. This has been a long rivalry between the two regions, and it's now time to settle it in the 2026
ये देखो ना।
Asian Games
Oh my
Esports
God.
Qualifiers.
This will set the new benchmark and standard for everyone for sure. And this will be the lineup
But
coming
ऐसा
in
बोलना नहीं
from
चाहिए।
Indonesia.
इसी पे
We have Iqbal on
body
the clash
shaming नहीं
level
करना चाहिए
on the
दोस्तों।
jungle, Emmanuel on the mid lane, Agol
इकबाल,
on the
लेकिन
farm lane, and now
इन लोगों का
on the
गेम ना
lane.
लास्ट टाइम
We
मैंने
do
देखा
know
था
that they
इंडोनेशिया
come
का
from
बहुत
different
बहुत
teams,
बहुत
and
एक
we're
तरफा
excited to
सही
see
खेलता है,
how
ठीक
they're
है?
going to perform here.
बट आगे आज
Against
फिलीपींस टीम है
I mean,
ना,
they've been
तो
flawless. They didn't
इन
die
लोगों के
a
लिए भी
single
मुश्किल पड़
time
सकता है।
in all of the games they played thus far.
Struggle करना
And
होगा
that
इन
is
लोगों
a
को भी।
huge feat considering
Let's see
it
क्या
was
होगा।
like 6 games, right? And the amount of time that they played, very short as
No,
well.
let's
Their
go.
opponents right here, Philippines,
Unzero
they are
lah,
no short
Zerox,
slouch as
unzero.
well, because coming in for this hyped matchup, it has been debuted since the first day, and this is Sybil Philippines lineup.
Yeah, Chammy,
भाई का ये
Justine,
style मस्त है
Dragon,
यार।
Golden, Charles, and actually, you're probably looking Dragon and Golden. That's actually their real names, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and they're twins as well. So these are two that have just kind of brought that all across to their IGNs here.
Yeah, with the twin chemistry coming in with the same team, all 5 of them, a lot of bonding that has happened before, and pretty sure it's gonna be giving them a lot of advantage as well throughout the entire match.
And it's a clash between two philosophies, right? Like you guys were talking about just now. It's a team of superstars from different teams coming in together for Indonesia. And it's also a team that has been known for being the one true representative coming in from Philippines, coming together to represent their nation here. And this is the head-to-head. And so far, Indonesia yet to suffer a single
रुका,
death in
बारिश हो
any
रहा
of
है कि
their
नहीं?
6
चेक करना
games
होगा यार
played.
मेरे
That's
को।
insane. I mean, 77-0 and 204, and somehow not one person got out of position and died? That is insane. Plus, the hero pool has actually been quite high. But the way that they're balling, I mean, this first strike, right, 100%, that's insane too.
And the most important thing is for both sides of the team, they never lost a single game, and they are about to, because it is impossible for any of them to actually not lose in this one, because it's going to be a very fun match and a very tough one to watch.
Only one team makes it out unscathed here. Like, okay, maybe we get a 2-1, a 2-0. Okay, it goes back to our discussion once again. Gentlemen, predictions.
Oh, even before we see the draft?
No. Of course. Yeah. I mean, we kind of did that going in. Look, it's hard to vote against Indonesia, especially when they've been flawless. But I do think that the Philippines, I like their resolve. I like their aggressive play.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 Philippines.
Ooh, I'm going to go 2-0 Indonesia, actually. Even though it's going to be close. But I think it's going to be 2-0 Indonesia.
Wow, I don't know,
Mikey
man.
bhai,
For me, I've
तुम किसके
friends on
support
both
में?
sides. If I vote
Right?
for Philippines,
मैं
they're
तो
gonna
इंडो का हूँ,
Indonesia
चलो।
friends are gonna be like,
तुम्हारा
why
इंडोनेशिया?
Philippines? And vote for
चलो,
Indonesia, Philippines.
तुम्हारा मेरा
Someone
versus,
will be
ठीक है?
like,
इंडोनेशिया
"Sagi,
versus
you voted
Philippines."
against us again. I can't pick
चलो।
here, guys.
Yeah, I didn't think this through. I'm sorry. I made the prediction without realizing that I too have friends on both sides of the fence. This is very awkward. But speaking of both sides, we're talking about the head-to-head here. Both average KDAs over 10. I mean, both of them, when you're rolling, the KDAs come very easy, right?
Yeah, for sure. And this is where it really shines out for Dragon, because he really excels in his match previously, and the goal per minute is the most important thing. It really shows how they're doing economically and trying to rotate, especially as the mid lane, which is very important to really do the goal sharing technique with the jungle and the roamer.
Take out the DPM coming in for Sana Emmanuel here. One of the highest MVP count mid lanes coming in for this specific tournament, and he is piling on towards that damage resources here. Generally speaking, right, you can say that Philippines games are much shorter, but Indonesia games are much cleaner.
Yeah, actually very true.
Clean तरीके से
I think
खेलते हैं
it's
Indonesian.
because when you're looking at Emmanuel, he's like the shot caller. He's making the plays and he's setting himself up. Plus, obviously they haven't died.
Yeah.
And the way that he's able to do it from that front point with his like Ganon Mo, his Garuda, he's just been able to just completely dominate anybody that comes up against him.
And to answer about the question that Honor gave us just now about which team probably has a better edge, because Philippines has come from one team and Indonesia actually has come from multiple different teams. Actually, I spoke to Glenn yesterday. I asked him about this and he said that what they did was 2 weeks prior to Asian Games, they actually went to a same gaming house and they trained. But after coming here, what they did is every single morning, regardless of what time their game is, all of them have to wake up very early, around 7 to 8 p.m. a.m. And go have breakfast together. They cannot leave one person out. Everyone have to go there together. Secondly, all of them will always go to the swimming pool, which is at the hotel, and they will try to, mingle around and go to the gym, and all of them move together regardless if they're gonna swim or not. So I think that's gonna be contributing a lot to their chemistry.
It's like bonding, right? It's like how you always mention, you gotta go to the cinema, for those bonding sessions here. And they did it in a different way. And I always see them at the breakfast, like they're always there and they're really early up and available here. But gentlemen, let's head towards the pick and bans here.
चलो ban pick चालू हो चुका है.
Faithful rivals. As Indonesia
Let's
picks
see,
up
ठीक
the
है.
blue side, they ban away the Dharma and also the Chano here. For Philippines, they go towards the red side. That's the Guan Yu locked away. And what are we seeing on this remaining ban?
I mean, we're going to have to see what they want. The Yukio has been just, tops, right? It's done
Birthday
very
है
well.
मेरा Zerox
Definitely
भाई.
something that
Happy
is
birthday
heavily
मोहम्मद
targeted. But
अब्दुल्ला
to
भाई.
kind of go back to the point that you were talking about, Adam, in terms of the bonding, I mean, it's hard for
Guys,
players.
आप लोग
These are
इंडोनेशिया
gamers,
फिलीपींस में
right?
से
They're playing
एक
till
टीम
like
चूज
4
कर लो यार,
a.m.
मजा आएगा.
And to have to wake up at
ऐसा
7 a.m.
guess prediction
that
लगाने में.
is like probably the most difficult part of this training
Guessing
regime that
खेलने
I
में.
would think. Just waking up on time.
It's against our nature as gamers, right? Because we usually, play all the way to late nights. But that's the discipline that the coach, Glenn, is really trying to implement into all of his players. And I think it might give a good impact, but it's going to be reflected into this match.
It builds unity in and out of the game where you are closer as a whole with your teammates. You're not just subordinates, you're also friends in and out of the game. So I guess that's the unity that he's trying to build. And we're looking at interesting draft.
Whoa!
Fuzi Daqiao. I haven't seen this since Season 3.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. So basically, the split push is real because you got that Foot. He's very tanky, and then he just survives enough. And then you have the Daqiao. You can teleport both of you guys on out. This is looking to be very interesting and a bit of a curveball in game 1.
Yeah, previously why this one worked so well because Daqiao actually has this string attached to Fuzi or anyone who's the closest one to give a little bit of extra movement speed and extra stats. But this time that thing is no longer around, but they're gonna try and do it anyway. So it's gonna be very interesting how they're gonna pull it off with the recall skill coming in from Daqiao and implementing here at the final days of Asian Games. It's just so fun.
I love it, right? Strats straight up off the board here. The Fuzi Daqiao in this patch, you want to use the Fuzi to ult someone, and then Daqiao sends everybody.
Hero का नाम भी
in
दिखाना
towards that
चाहिए था ना
immediate
यहाँ
team
पे.
fight here. So it's like a boxing ring, if you feel me.
Yeah.
But coming in for the Philippines draft, we do see a Dia already heavily focused towards to the side of Golden to be the main carry for the side of Team Philippines. I like the bans here coming in from Indonesia.
Zerox
Banning away the
big fan,
Baichi.
please
I'm
shout
not
out to
surprised if they go
Rishabh
for the
and give
Ata
him
as
challenge
well.
in Free
Removing
Fire.
all the tanks
Rishabh भाई,
coming in from Philippines.
shout out to you. आपको एक
What
challenge है Free Fire के लिए.
Crazy way to
अब
start
1
this one off.
HP
I mean, it's just the best of 3.
बोया करके
But you were
दिखाओ
talking about
Free
Coach
Fire
Glenn
में.
on the
Full match 1
Indonesian
HP
side, and
रहो.
you're talking,
and बोया करके
TG
दिखाओ
on
5
the
kill
other
के
end,
साथ.
from the Philippines. Like, these guys had know each other, right? I think especially when it comes to the draft, and being able to just spring this up is just like, a surprise, if you will.
And this is what they want to do as much as they can, right? The surprise factor can really help to throw people out of their feet, especially for the coach of Philippines with the TG. So it depends on how he's going to react to this.
इधर का hero सही लगा यार मेरे को
And
Mikey.
they're also trying to remove
इस
any
game का.
fast mobility heroes such as Nakoruru and Musashi,
बढ़िया है
which
इधर का
to
भी.
me reduces a lot of problems and headaches for the side of their players.
And talking about a headache, right? That's 3 Clash laners banned away from Chami in towards the side of Philippines.
Pick and
Clash
ban में
laner
बहुत
here. So
time
they'll
जाता है
definitely
यार.
have to venture into something like the Charlotte, something like the, I would say, different picks, for example, here, because picks are starting to get a pretty low in that Clash lane pool.
Yeah, Chammy's always incredibly scary, right? I think he is definitely the team fight winning guy, and he's incredibly scary at any time because he's able to just change the team fight on it, basically put it on its head, if you will. But he's the guy, again, you want to target is Indonesia.
Yeah, and we also have this Atta that has been picked. It's going to be able to really tank a lot of damage coming in from the side of Indonesia. And we want to see a hero to at least try to reduce the HP of Atta, probably a marksman who would be able to handle an item such as Doomsday.
I don't think there will be a marksman here coming in from the side of Indonesia. That Fuzi is heading towards the farm lane.
Oh, that's true.
And then maybe Clash lane, we get a Fatih or Charlotte coming in for the side of
रोज
Iqbal, going
आपका
up
live
against this
stream
specific
देखता
matchup.
हूँ,
I could be
मजा आता
wrong.
है.
I could be wrong, but
देखते रहो
time
यार.
is up, and let's do see what is going on. Okay,
ऐसे
Fuzi's
ही.
going to the Clash lane.
But wait, is Dajiao's going to be babysitting Futsu or the Renji? It all depends on what they want to do, right? But
बहुत
I
टाइम
still
लगाता
feel
है
like
यार
it
ये
makes
लोग
sense
pick
for
करने
them to
में
actually linger around
बहुत
the
time
Clash
लगता है
lane
ना.
area instead of
हाँ,
trying to
हाँ.
be closer towards the marksman.
Yeah, I think
एकदम
for
सोच
the
समझ के
beginning,
करना
you're
होता है
just
ना.
gonna play her a little like in lane, right? She's gonna be with the
Opponent
D-Red J.
अरे बाप रे.
Now that you've
No
got Lam, you're
fall
thinking a
भाई का
little bit
देखो ना,
more standard, but the
character क्या है तो सही दिख रहा है
split
ना.
push potential is always there come mid game, right? And then that's when you could be annoying, assuming that you're getting pushed in.
गोल्डन वाला जो कैरेक्टर लिया है ना
I like
गोल्डन
the
में
Halo here,
पॉपुलर
man.
इनको
Very
ऐसा लग रहा है
confident
ना.
stuff here
Smart.
coming in from South Philippines. I would say that both teams have held their draft up to the
Popular
very
इनको
end.
ऐसा है
And
ना.
usually for Team Philippines, they like to rely Chammy more on those aggressive playmakers here. On an Atta, I'm pretty excited to see what he has in store in making some of the fancy plays coming in to build Team Sybil for their victory here. For Team
Guys, जो भी लोग
Indonesia,
stream देख रहे हो सब
I'm
लोग
interested
stream
as
को like
well.
कर देना.
What is the game plan on this Futsu Dacia? Like you mentioned here, Adam. Is
Yeah.
it supposed to be split push centric, or is it going to be hard engage and jumping in for the fight? And we don't really get much on the Lam here, and this is one of our third or fourth showcasing coming in from Neville.
I cannot imagine for it to be a very team fight centric. I cannot imagine that. I think it's gonna be purely split pushing. But here we go for our first game between this match of Indonesia and the Philippines.
Yeah, and going into this game, I mean, like Neville getting his Lam last pick, really setting the, changing things up because Golden, Charles, Dragon to a degree are very vulnerable if he's able to get to that backline. And you know Neville, he's one of the top junglers from Indonesia.
Yeah.
And he's gonna
वैसे
find
jungling
farm.
कौन कर
You're
रहा
gonna
है?
see just how efficient they
उधर
are. And again,
ने-
funneling that
इंडोनेशिया
into
से
second पे होता है
And
Yeah.
at the same time, I think it's pretty smart for
Justin
them to
है
actually
उधर,
take Hano
Philippines
because
से.
Hano is a very good hero to try to bring back up a tower that has been brought down. So at least I think this could buy a lot of time, or at least try to recover back the tower that has been destroyed. Potentially by Iqbal because he's using Fuzi and having Dajiao.
Yeah, that's one way to counter it, right? But you have to kind of work around that. You have to be within the vicinity in a specific time. So a lot of things need to happen for you to get that perfect, again, heal, right? But it plays to the, the strengths of the Philippine squad where they're looking to go a little bit late. They don't need to rush things out.
Yeah, I believe so too. They're going to try to rotate towards the bottom. Charles and Golden still waiting for the chance to dive right in the right moment. And it seems like he is able to do so.
Yeah, it looks like Golden will just be back into the lane. But another thing to take note of, look at the top lane. Iqbal, by himself, they've got two members of the Philippines here. Justine, he's the one that you want, right? Chammy and Justine have been a nice little 1-2 combination. They've definitely threatened. Iqbal needs to really respect these two.
And I think it's very important for Chammy to really play around his teammates later on, for his involvement on each team fight is crucial for the entire team, because he is the only hero that is actually quite thick compared to maybe they're going to go with a Hano that is a tank or a semi-tank. But I still believe that Chammy needs to be involved in everything as soon as he can. He does have that early advantage.
Bang,
especially
Zerox,
using
where do you
Alpha.
live?
Yeah, when we were talking about
I'm from
predictions, I
Nepal,
think the
bro.
one thing we kind of glossed over was, like, what is the minute mark? I mean, Indonesia does not go flawless in this one, right?
Yeah.
They don't, like, have a single, like, death in... I mean, they will have a death in this one, right? There's no other way.
Yes? Question mark? I think so too. Because, well, they set a very high benchmark for sure, but I don't think they're going to try to risk their...
Justin ने जो character लिया है ना, वो लड़की जैसे दिखता है ना.
I believe Tyrant is going to
लेकिन
be
वो
the
लड़का
first
है,
map
वो-
where they're going to try to go all out into this fight.
वो
They're
लोहाना
going to
जैसा
try and
दिखता
go
है.
towards the Tyrant and try to get the Tyrant as fast as possible, regardless of what's about to happen. And it's going to be a little bit of a problem for Emmanuel to clear his wave as fast as he can, because the Kachosen is too much of a single target skill.
I mean, for me, it's like, I know the Philippines know that that streak is there, right? In the undefeated one. But in the top lane, Sage's Might is going to be used. The Ghost Ship, and here comes the teleport with that Whirlpool. And now Jamie one under the tower, if you will, does stay alive.
Eye of the Whirlpool is just so annoying. It could just call everyone quickly to that spot, waiting for a teleportation to give help to Agong. But it seems like there's another fight happening at up top.
Yeah, a little bit more action. Iqbal, though. The greedy spot gets charged to the side to pull away. The flash is trying to get to safety, but Iqbal is enough. The Severing Surges are just in time to get the mini stuns on.
Very quick move coming in from Iqbal. He managed to run away just in time. And right now, we're going to try to focus on rotating towards the
Philippines
mid
goal
again.
and
Philippines having quite a huge gold lead, 1,500 within 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That is actually a huge amount. It seems to be like a bit of a problem coming out from the rotation for gold sharing coming from the side of Indonesia.
This is like uncharted territory for Indonesia. I've never been on the losing side. I mean, it's going to come back to, like, how do they respond? Because this lead is starting to grow. It's 1.5, 4 minutes in. The Philippines taking the Tyrant for free. Everything is going their way right now.
Udze is still up top. He's going to try to wait out at that area for the red buff. And it seems like Philippines are not going to try to do any invasions at all. Iqbal, really smart, trying to open up the map as much as possible, trying to give a lot of vision to his teammate. And look at these scepter marks. That's going to really spawn out a lot of scepters towards the side of Indonesia.
Yeah, and that will provide quite a bit, right? That damage starts to stack. It starts to really wear down the squad of Indonesia. Now, the Whirlpool. This is that attempt. This is what the Da Chow will bring to you. A lot of mobility in a hurry. Looks like they're taking the bottom T1, but Dragon is there. He might want to use the Fate Rewind, and he will out-heal all of it.
Oh, look at the amount of rejuvenation coming towards the tower. Dragon with the Fate Rewind is so effective. This is what we want and we need from every Halo player, right? To actually try to make good use of the ultimate of the Halo as much as possible.
And this is that last pick, the Trump pick, if you will. They were looking to counter it, and now in the bottom lane, they actually find gold, and he's going to be going down. Charles is on the side, and now how much more can they do? The dash away. Neville doing some work on the back end. 2 members down for the Philippines.
Very great teleportation coming in from their side. Indonesia really trying to make good use of it. Getting Dragon along the way, trying to rotate back towards the mid lane.
lead ही इंडोनेशिया ले रहा है नहीं होगा शायद इसमें फर्स्ट लीड जो लेता है ना उसी टीम के हाथ में होता है ना गेम
taking them down all over the map with an assortment of skills and doing it again very cleanly.
And Justin is still nearby. He tries to rotate towards the mid lane again, but Iqbal, we haven't seen any split pushing coming in from the side of him just yet. We're still waiting for that power spike to come through, especially when the Spark Forge dagger has already been made, and we can expect another Glacial Buckler to really help him keep on spamming his second skill.
Yeah, but one thing to take note of, Neville is actually about 300 gold behind Justine, even though, you know, he's kind of lost some of those towers. The objectives are definitely shifting in favor of Indonesia, but the kills as well. So again, Indonesia, the way that they're able to potentially close out and control this map is going to be a problem, is that Neville finds Justine, they dash away from one another.
Neville gonna try to maybe run away just a little bit more because he's a little bit overextended and his teammates are quite far away. But that's the beauty of the Da Chow, right? He can just use the Eye of the Whirlpool anytime to call his entire teammate to move towards the bottom lane if the roamer feels like they're gonna get caught out from far away.
Yeah, that's so clean. If they're able to do this and to really upset Philippines, it really comes back to this Da Chow Pyong. Like, is everybody going to be there on time? How much of an impact are they going to have? Because they've been moving across the map so fluidly that Philippines have been on the defensive. Yes, they're up, but they've lost majority of their towers.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Philippines really need to try to counter this as soon as possible, especially when Da Chow is around. They know that Iqbal is going to get forced and attacked afterwards. But it seems like Philippines has different ideas for now. They want to do a different idea by going down to the bottom lane instead and try to have a base race. Try to see who can destroy towers faster than each other.
Yeah, space was created. Top lane is going to be pushing here. And this is where you see Dragon instantly there. It's like, okay, you want to take down this tower? Fate Rewind. Boom. I'm going to heal this one back up. He's going to time it properly so he gets as much the health bar as possible on that tower. Doesn't want to use it, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like they really want to focus down towards the mid lane right now. 2,000 gold in front for Philippines. It's not too big of a deal for Indonesia, but I do feel that they have to keep up with their momentum. They have the advantage though. It seems like they're trying to be much more safer. I don't want it to be too same with the Hong Kong-China situation just now, because if they're trying to make it too safe and trying to really respect their opponent, it might backfire towards them, Holler.
Yeah, and look at how the Philippines, like Indonesia was rotating all the way to the south side. The Philippines were kind of counter-moving, and they're like, okay, this is annoying. Let's deal with the Overlord. That's going to push out all 3 lanes. That's going to give us the space. And now this is the Iqbal Nafal combination that we've been talking about. The Foots, Da Chao. This is going to be super annoying to deal with as the split push begins.
And the most important thing is the rest of the team, the other 3, the Renjit, Lam, and also Mai, have to stick together to try to at least clear lanes as safely as possible. But it seems like they really want to try to group up towards the Tyrant, trying to get the Tyrant as fast as possible, and it seems like Chammy cannot do anything about that. They're trying to chase here.
Yeah, but Nafal, he's probably going to be left for dead. I don't think he gets on out, but it was a sacrifice, and it was a worthy one because the Tyrant was taken. Indonesia with just enough to get out Iqbal. Oh, he gets Dragon. It looks like he was AFK at the wheel.
Yeah, he did not realize that something was happening. Probably opening up some items to buy and sell, probably. But we can see it on how the tier 2 tower is going to get destroyed very soon. And they're not going to be able to do much about this to defend, because their heroes right now don't really have that tankiness to really deal with the damage coming in from Philippines.
Yeah, so the Philippines, the counter, I mean, you want to be kind of pushing things down as quickly as possible. You want to take out those towers because the split push could be an issue, but you don't want those lanes so far up where that split push becomes like very difficult to rotate from.
Yeah, right now, they really want to try to focus down towards the bottom lane, still standing Iqbal, and Philippines still deciding to really group up together because the fear of having a Da Chao very near you. And that's it, Naufal is quite nearby and he suddenly opens an Eye of the Whirlpool. They need to be able to react as soon as possible to whatever is going to come towards their way.
Look at how quickly he takes down the wave, and this is why the Foots pick is brilliant here. I mean, it's a combination with Da Chao. It's well known. But the way that he's able to do it, now somebody has to rotate. Look at Dragon, already making his way there. Philippines have to constantly respond. They're like you plug one hole, another hole appears.
Iqbal is quite nearby as well. He's going to be locking someone, but something's happening.
Yeah, a little bit of a charge here. Neville, the ghost ship, on the wrong side. They actually find it. And Chammy goes down.
Chammy को भी मार दिया. अरे नहीं.
Punishment. They find Golden as well. Indonesia hitting on all cylinders.
A very good flash and pull, and they're going to try to destroy the mid tower for sure. And this is going to be the first death for Indonesia, it seems.
It looks like they actually found a kill, the Philippines on that one. But, I mean, the team fight was overall won by Indonesia, as it looks like they're going to be taking yet another big Tyrant away. Neville is an absolute monster when it comes to these big neutrals.
And right now, also, Neville has already bought Blazing Cape, which is very important to reduce the recovery coming in from the side of Atta and also the Diadea. And this is going to be very helpful for them. They have to try to play around this situation with the gold being exactly the same. Now, what are they going to do? Are they going to try to keep on split pushing, or are they going to try to really group up and start a team fight?
And you can do anything, right? I think that you're still even. It's just based on what the minion waves, where they are at, right? If you're able to do it. Now, Fate Rewind, he will get on back. Dragon gets to safety on this one. But Iqbal will continue to stay in the top and the outside lanes. Constant pressure. And now a mini stun on Agung, he's going to get on back. But the Philippines right now, again, very reactive. They want a death ball. They want to fight. And Indonesia, from all angles, it's so hard to pin them down.
Yeah, this is going to be the hardest part.
Iqbal, not fall there. Oh, the corporal punishment is going to be used. He does a little bit of work onto Charles. They get the pick off onto this. Iqbal looking to run away, but Emmanuel goes down. They finally take down Iqbal as well. That's a double going the way of Golden. He's going to have to back off as he's very low, but 3 members down for the Philippines. Chammy will look to go down as well. Neville with the triple strike. Unscared.
This is the one. This is the one. The way that they go all in, trying to really get their advantages with the Neville, trying to find one after another. This is the benefit coming in from the Lam. Looking at this replay again, the way they move around, really trying to get one after one. Actually, Indonesia actually got caught at first because of the great play coming in from Golden. But afterwards, Neville really on a spree. He went down, trying to get them to the side, and really a very fast rotation coming in from them. They did a better focus fire, in my opinion.
Oh my god, Neville has had such a good game right now. I mean, off of that triple, he's taken all of the big neutrals. Look at how fast he's farming.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about net worth right here, it's like 9.9 versus 9.2. It looks like he's slightly less, but the Philippine squad, everything is being funneled into Justine. Neville is doing this by himself, right?
True.
So you're getting more jungle efficiency, more farm efficiency across all of the maps.
And in fact, he was actually trying to farm from the heroes. He really tried to target them down. And which is very interesting, right? Because we do know that Neville really can benefit more from the itemizations. The conversions from the physical attack into his skill sets are much more powerful. So this makes him a very dangerous glass cannon for him to actually go in and try to really make good use of the recovery from the passive of Lam. So that's the beauty of this kind of synergy coming in from the Indonesian side.
Yeah, and also, it's just space created for Neville, right? You're taking the outside lanes, you've taken the top T3. Neville is just happily farming. He's 4-0-2, making such an impact in this one. But Philippines, they've been grouped up. They've been forced to react. They have zero answers for the mobility of Neville here.
They're trying to really focus down towards the tier 2 tower at the bottom with 2,000 gold lead. This is not big, by the way. This is very small. But where is Iqbal? That is the question. Because Philippines really have to be focusing on not getting split push without them being aware of the position of Iqbal.
Iqbal split push कर रहा है.
Push away champion just to kind of make it a little bit easier for the team to kind of deal with. Iqbal in the top lane. Whatever action is happening somewhere else, Iqbal is in the other lane, constantly putting pressure where you can't really team fight into this lineup.
I agree. For sure, Iqbal is going to be able to stay up top. And this is going to be quite dangerous for Philippines too, right? Because it seems like they cannot come out from their base. Well, thankfully, they have a Heno, which is a very high ground tower, high ground hero, because he can really clear from very far away. But with this in mind, are they not going to go out from their base at all, even though they have Ata to open up any space? This is the fear that is already planted inside their heads. They cannot come out for now.
Can't come out, and you're starting to see this net worth just shift in favor of Indonesia, right? Because again, they put them back. They're all like, all 5 of them are huddled around this mid tower. They don't really have much to do, just kind of farm, right? And Indonesia are taking advantage of it. They own the complete, like everything on this map. I mean, Agung right there with his almost 70,000 damage as well. I mean, this Indonesia team is really hitting their stride.
And of course, coming in from the side of the draft, taking DRNG to go against Ata is just so good, so that Ata can really get melted down very quickly. I think this is good work coming in from them, and let's see how Philippines is going to try to handle this.
Yeah, Chami just set things up. A little bit of a charge, but Iqbal is like, oh, that didn't do any damage onto me. But they need all 5 of them to really take down Iqbal, which is a worry because he's always in the top lane by himself.
True, and who's the right person for them to actually send to go up against Iqbal? It's probably going to be Dragon, because Dragon has Fate Rewind, but something's about to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, Golden eventually, but now with that Fate Rewind, maybe going in. Look at Iqbal was trying to end the game. He flashes on back at a moment's notice, but now with this Ghost Ship locking him down, this Aegis Might is going to be used on the Chami, and Iqbal somehow still alive, creating space for the mid T3 to be taken.
What a space created for him, and he actually survived that. Even the 4 of them actually turned their face towards him, and this is going to keep on going, it seems.
Yeah, Emmanuel, these Kachusans have been almost 100%. Iqbal is just like laughing in glee as he makes it from one lane to the other. He's going to go to the bottom to create havoc there.
No one expected that move, for him to actually flash into the crystal and try to get the crystal to go down as fast as possible. They were hoping for the minion to actually still be available in the bottom lane so that the rest of his team can actually try to push the high ground tower in the bottom. But it seems like there are no more towers on the side of the Philippines. It's going to be a huge problem for them to try to handle all lanes at the same time and try to get any objectives outside of their base.
I know that the net worth lead is only like 4K for Indonesia, but it feels much bigger because they've taken all of the map control is all there. They're basically like forcing Philippines to counter move to what they're throwing at them, and the Philippines are slow. This lineup is not able to keep on pace.
Yeah, definitely a very good play coming in from Iqbal and also Naufal. Naufal always ready, but something's happening.
Oh, a little bit of action here. They're trying to go for the backside. They find Charles in a bad spot. He was trying to go for the bitter farewell. The top lane is pushing in. Look at Iqbal. Look at the potential. And Justine is a little bit low. They land down the Sage's Might. They have Justine locked down. Chami is down as well. And now how can Dragon hold on? He's all by himself. The Fate Rewind is only buying a little bit of time. And it looks like Indonesia are going to take game number 1.
Off to a good start and continuing their undefeated streak. So what, that 0 death timer actually got broken apart, but they still
1-0 हो गया ठीक है इंडोनेशिया का रुको हाँ मैं थोड़ा सा साइड स्ट्रीम
total menace on that Futsu, finding those split pushes. disturbing the equilibrium coming in for this game. And that 10-minute play coming in from Iqbal, finding the early in the backline. Game changer.
Such a menace for sure. The way that Iqbal plays is just so good. And also the way the team actually revolves around him. Is he going in yet? If you go
bottom lane, and so far, Golden has been having a really good time against Golden in that 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, I think you'll be happy. Going up against Golden. This is also one where you're like, hey, you know, is this the lane matchup that we're looking for? Are we going to leave him alone all by himself, or do we send Golden some help? Right now, Charles right now is looking more for this 4-minute tyrant.
It's okay, right? Yeah. And we do see the priority on both junglers. It's like, okay, let's take care of It's
going to be on the 2. Unending Sorrow, Emmanuel dodging most of this one as he looks to get on back. The burst ram is going to be keeping him back to safety. Iqbal looking, threatening, halfway into the tyrant. The Stampede is on point. Neville gets the tyrant. Nice little Trevor smash. The control is real. Chami goes down. That's going to be first strike, but Nofil trading his life away. They've got 2 members as they find Justine and Golden.
Team fight galore once again, handed over to the side of Indonesia, and with Justine falling, this is a free Azure Golem going into the pockets of Team Indonesia here at mid lane tower. Might not be for long.
Not might be for long. Iqbal on the chase, but on the backside, Agung is showing up. He gets the final pick off, and Dragon is not able to run away.
It's a suffocating feeling that Philippines is actually feeling right now. Indonesia is outplaying them. Agung.
Yeah, but Chami was going aggressive, and this is my problem, is that if you're down, now things are worried. You're like, okay, we need to just, you know, team fight, or does Philippines actually just want to press the brakes a bit?
Like, hey,
let's calm down, let's play our game.
The team fight, like you mentioned, right? These are the moments where Tyrant is always a flip. If you win it, cool. Yeah. If you lose it, your jungle gets invaded, your mid tower gets chunked down, and you lose so much resource in your team, and you don't reflect it towards the side of Justine versus the side of Neville. Yeah. It reflects over to the side of the farm laner here. He's the
दोस्तों चलो इंडोनेशियन टीम के साइड ठीक है इस गेम में इंडोनेशियन टीम लीड में आ चुका है
starting to grow. It's getting a little out of hand.
गेम कैसा जाएगा mainly
starting to use again the map control, taking it over, and they've already got the tower on the top side. The mid T1 is looking to go down as well. Philippines right now in a world of hurt. They're on the defensive.
Yeah, no one can really answer towards this early right now. Usually we will say that okay, the Xiao Xiao, you know, the Hansen, they get a bit of a few plays that can actually damage out the early here, but right now, this early is way beyond reach.
Yeah, way beyond. Oh, the ghost ship completely locking him in. Chami gets shut down. Yet again, Agung gets the pick off.
Indonesia, you're making look easy coming into this game to its 6 minutes, almost a 5,000 gold lead, and right now, the room of breathing is starting to feel a bit suffocating for Team Philippines. They are not feeling good because every single resource is just being stolen away by the side of Team Indonesia.
I mean, taking the bottom T2 as well. This game has been nothing but Indonesia. The map control is real, and now they want this mid T2. A mini stun on a Dragon. He's trying to clear the way, but it's just too little, too late at this point. And the mid T2 just getting chipped away. Iqbal working on it.
Iqbal has been a silent warrior here coming in from Team Indonesia. Not the flashiest, but the most reliable one. The way that he's locking down Chami, the way that he's pacing these team fights has been immaculate. So efficient on this Ata thus far.
Yeah, I would say silent but deadly, right? And you know what else is silent but deadly? I'm just kidding. Let's move on. But Indonesia might get jumped on this one. Iqbal finding it on the 2. Needs to be a little bit careful. But they have 5 members of the Philippines. If they wanted to jump and they're not going to do it, they're playing scared.
I wouldn't say so, right? When you don't have the items here, who's realistically going to take down Nofil or the side of Iqbal here? It's going to take so much time, and by the time you waste all your spells, Neville comes in, Agon comes in, and there's still Emmanuel that's going to pump up the heals.
But this is like very losing proposition. Look at them, just fighting for farm. They're not getting any sort of value. There's no pickoff. At what point do you turn aggressive?
Only during item spike, right? At the very least, we look at Golden, probably at like Sparks Force Doomsday, which he just got it right now, and just
जल्दी खत्म हो गया ऐसा लगा यार ये गेम तो इंडोनेशिया अगर खत्म करेगा तो ठीक है कमबैक हुआ फिलीपींस के साइड से तो थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा मुश्किल भी होगा इंडोनेशियन टीम के लिए
it's looking to be game over regardless.
मेरे को जहां तक लगता है ये जल्दी खत्म होगा
6K net worth. That's an absolute massive mountain to climb at this stage.
Well, we have to see what Philippines actually have in store right now. With a 6,000 gold difference coming in from both teams, Indonesia, they just need to play it slow. Get the next few objectives. 10 minutes, get the Overlord, get the Tyrant, and then that's GG. For Philippines, it's about a miracle play. Can they find Emmanuel? Can they find Agong? These are key targets that need to answer to. If they can't, I have no answers for them.
Yeah, no answers at all. And I think that the Philippines, the way that they're playing, it seems like they're just playing very carefully. The Ghost Ship locking it down. They find Dragon in a bad spot. They're diving the tower. The Umbrella Hoppers just keeping him alive. Not enough. Charles too will fall. He's trying to run away. Chammy, that is. He too will fall. And Agung finding all of the pickoffs. 3 members down. Indonesia full strength.
Flawless performance coming in from Agong's early. The setup coming in from Notful and Iqbal is making Philippines wonder where is their shot, because lights are out soon and everything is crumbling coming in from civil representatives.
Taking that down, mid T3 bottom as well. They're taking all of the towers at the same time. Justine looking to just split push to create a little bit of breathing space, a little bit of farm. He's going to be leaving the base to get out, but he's going to try to do a risky recall. He's going to get caught out on this one. And now Justine dealing with the minions. He knows that he's on the run. This is probably not going to be going well for him, but he's using his mobility. This is buying time. The unending sorrow used. Justine, no chance. He's going to pop the heal, but he too will fall.
30 seconds. Jungle gone for the shadow objectives here. Indonesia, if they are playing slow, composed game here, the next upcoming clock is the time, the countdown of Philippines' fate in this game. They're running out of time here, Holler. I have no way of them to actually make a comeback here. It takes a colossal mistake coming in from Indonesia. Not once, but twice for them to actually equalize that goal lead.
All right, but you're telling me there's a chance, right? All they need to do is win 2 team fights back to back. It will be incredibly tough as they've been zoned away. Top T3 gonna be going down as well. And now with the bases tied wide open, they find a Vil. The Umbrella Hoppers, what else can they get? It looks like they find a goal on, try to go on no fall, but they're not able to do it. It looks like the Ghost Ship is gonna be used as well, but Iqbal finding his mark. They find Emmanuel on that point. They've got 3 from Indonesia, and they were continuing to chase, but they are not able to find the last 2.
Down in an almost 10,000 goal deficit, Philippines rely on Chammy's engage. They found the comeback moment, and let's check out the instant replay here real quick. Chammy finding the immense target on towards Neville here, and the Umbrella Outburst tags onto a few more. Here, Northball forced to flash away. Iqbal still goes in for a 4v5, and then they get decimated by the stampede coming in from Charles, sending 3 members back into Philippines' pockets here. And if they get this Overlord, this might just be the comeback signal that Philippines need for that late game marker.
But all the lanes are pushing. This is a problem. I mean, they haven't taken any tower, so they have very little space. If they want to go for this, it's going to be under threat. Indonesia already at full strength. This would be an impossible task. Maybe they get a steal.
Maybe, right? Maybe it's
इस बार अगर
maybe means
जिस टीम ने ओवरलॉर्ड लिया ना उसी का हाथ होगा फिलीपींस गया भाई भाई इधर का ही फाइट में हार जाएगा लगता है लो चार्ल्स को भी मार दिया ड्रैगन को भी भगा के मार लेकिन यार एचपी जस्टिन को मार देगा इसको मार देगा उन लोगों ने मिस्टेक कर दिया ना वहाँ पे जाना नहीं चाहिए था धीरे धीरे करके मतलब होता है ना सीधा सीधा गया
I expected a 3-game tight series, but I did not expect a one-sided win coming in from Team Indonesia.
Indonesia completely dominant in that one. Just a completely controlled, great game. Perfectly executed. Came from draft, came from the execution, everything was in favor of Indonesia today.
Beautiful game coming in from them, as well as Philippines too, because they almost made a comeback just now from that one team fight coming in inside their base area. Shake hand, boys, fist bump right now. This is what they want. This is the spot that we have up on the stage. The long-term rivalry has been settled once more.
And a question you guys have been asking, right? 5 superstars or 1 super team? This is your answer here. 5 superstars.
It's looking that way, right? The way that they were able to just cleanly take that game, everybody was just on next level. Even from the draft. I mean, shout out to Glenn as well, who is also on a different team, right? So combining their forces, if you will, becoming the Voltron that you're seeing here, this is an incredibly tough lineup for any squad to really look to take down. The Philippines had 0 answers.
Yeah, very smart coming from the side of Indonesia for sure, the way they rotate so well. And I have to say, on how Iqbal, every time he tries to make a play, and the follow-up coming in from Agung, was just spot on. The way he goes in, he just used Maple Dance and just clear everyone out, try to deal as much damage as possible, turns back to his Parasola and really use that advantage towards his team. And the execution from Indonesia team is just flawless.
I was looking at Agung, and that draft was coming, and everything was like trying to make Arlie's life difficult. But Agung was like, that Michael Jordan meme is like, I took that personally, right? Because he was like, no, I'm not losing this game. I've still got it.
He definitely got it right. Flawless gameplay on towards the early in the very end. He was unscat. He found every single team fight and he played it perfectly. I have no other words because that was an amazing series for me itself.
Nice,
there were
yeah.
comeback moments coming in from the side of the Cebu Philippines team.
मुझे लगता है इस बार
Yeah, I wanted to say that
अगर हुआ
out
तो
of all
बाय
heroes
चांस ठीक
inside
है
Honor of Kings,
नेपाली
the
टीम
heroes that really have the comeback
और
capability is
इंडोनेशियन
always
टीम
Xiaofei,
का
Dharma and Guan Yu,
फाइनल
and
तक
they had two
जाने
of
का
them
चांसेस
just now, and
थे
they almost made it work, but when they
नेपाली टीम
tried
ने
to
भी
really
अच्छा
go
खेला है
out and try to deal all the damage
बाकी
and try
इंडियन
to
टीम तो
go
आउट हो
towards the
चुके हैं
objective, they got caught up again
और
because
भी
of the
टीम होगा
traps
अच्छा
that has
अच्छा
been made, set by the
म्यांमार का
Indonesians
क्या
now,
हुआ
with
पता
the
नहीं
Iqbal going in, and again Agong sweeping everyone away.
Yeah, Indonesia, though, knew that those were the win conditions. They never grouped up. They always took the fight that they wanted. They would find somebody, they would isolate, take them down. So you never had a big team fight, and they revolve around some of those big ults.
I'm really amazed, you know, for a team that only had 2 to 3 weeks of prep time coming in towards this event.
Right?
So disciplined, so much
बहुत
improvement,
जल्दी
and they
खत्म
show that 5 Indonesian players can beat 5
With
Philippines
confidence
players,
and
they
without
managed to do
nervousness,
so, because in many
when
of these
playing will
tournaments that
beat
we've
the
seen
opponent.
thus far,
सही बोला
Philippines
भाई
has always won up Indonesia, and this time around, the story has flipped.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, maybe other region might do the same, try to get the best of the best from each team, maybe like a dream team, if you will. And this will be the itemization coming in from the side of both Philippines and Indonesia. There's not much.
हर कोई में तगड़ा है यार इंडोनेशियन टीम मोबा में भी ऑनर ऑफ किंग फ्री फायर में भी e-sport के मामले में ना ऐसे
amount of damage coming in towards him because Agong was just relentless. He doesn't care about anyone who's in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, his 507 is not as good as 607, but it's still good enough where it was able to kind of just control and take over this game. And that's what you want from this Arlie. They were picking it early because they were like, hey, Agung, carry for us, take us to victory.
And shout out to Coach Glenn. I gotta say, without the draft coming in from Coach Glenn, this wouldn't be as easy as it is coming in from Indonesia. All their hard work, all their commitment built towards this victory today. And you can say, Sagi, there's no stakes
कुछ
at
समझ
hand.
में भी
But
आता है मुझे तो सब आता है तुम लोगों को पता नहीं
Regional pride is for sure then.
मैं तो
We can
समझ
say
रहा
that
हूँ
maybe all the time spent together, eating together, going to the swimming pool together and the gym together probably paid off because you always question, right? Can they have
जिनको
this
मोबाइल
team
लेजेंड
bonding,
खेलना
sped
पसंद
up
होगा
on a
उनको
turbo boost as fast as
जो
possible
खेलते
to really
होगा ठीक
catch
है
up
उन लोगों को
level
आता
of
है ये अच्छा
cohesion of
मतलब
any other
गेम
team who has played together
सेम
for
है ना
so
जैसे
long.
फ्री फायर
And
पबजी
he has
एक
proven
तरीके
it
का हो
right.
गया
And with this kind of
अच्छा
team
के
comp that he
मोबा भी
also
एक तरीके
provided
का
to his
गेम है
players, also thanks to how much he already know his players, right? He really gets to know them for quite a while, and it's just so how efficient it was.
There were a lot of questions going in. Like, again, just taking all-stars, picking a team, all of that. And I think that, you know, and Indonesia has not done relatively well against the Philippines throughout the international events. But showing up today, this is the roster. Like, this is it. Like, these are the guys that we feel like, hey, the best of the best. What a great team. Draft, execution, everything that you're wanting for Indonesia. For today, Indonesia fans can fly the flag properly and proudly.
Fly high, right? As we say, you know, all these
अगले मैच में तो इंडोनेशिया की तरह
Indonesia fans, but
गेम खत्म हो चुका है भाई
there's no time to sulk because yes, this
गेम
is still
जीत
the
लिया
qualifiers
इंडोनेशिया
here.
ने
More time to actually prepare
अब इसके
going
तरफ लग
into
रहे
the
हो
official Asian Games main event. So there's still time for this loss because losses, if you think
अलग
it
ही बंदे हो
correctly,
यार तुम
those are lessons itself.
Yeah, definitely lessons, and pretty sure that they have still a lot more things to look forward to, such as the main event that's going to be happening very soon. So don't worry, don't fret. There's a lot of things that can be done from the Philippine side for sure, because every team have proven that they were able to progress so quick, adapt and improvise based on what they've gone through.
इसके बाद गेम
So what
शायद
about the next
हो गया
couple of
नहीं
months? Pretty sure a lot of things can be done to turn things around.
Yeah, overall KDA by Indonesia throughout the Asian Games Qualifier, 105-7, 283. Philippines was the only team to take down Indonesia. I mean, at least 7 times. That's infinitely better than the other squads.
PC को
So
की
they
मैपिंग
should be
रिवील
proud
गर्न
about
पहिले
that.
नि
But
गरे
again,
थे
going back to the
ल
drawing
फेरि
board,
गरौँ ला
finding a way to just like to solve this Indonesian squad is going to be a tough one.
Well, look at that 4th minute mark. The moment it hits, Tyrant spawns. Indonesia just step on the pedal field,
Wow.
and that's it.
The
GG.
slope was exactly steep. I was actually imagining a much more soft
खतरनाक है यार,
curve, but
लेकिन इंडोनेशिया का टीम ना
imagine that what happened just now, the way they actually went
नेपाल
all
को भी
in, the
मुश्किल तो होगा अगर
commitment coming in from
इंडोनेशिया
Philippines
टीम
themselves as well,
आगे आ गया
which
तो
is also
नेपाली
sort
टीम
of
के
course.
आगे
This is exactly where it started on minute 4, and yeah, they all really
Highlight देख
get
सकते हो यहाँ
punished
पे।
for just being a bit overextended into the area, but coming in from them as well.
Look, I mean, look at Agung and Neville. They're largely untouched. They were always on the back line. So Philippines were like so willing to brawl, but they were walling into Nafal, Iqbal, both tanky guys, plus Emmanuel, who has on an XR, which can bait things out. And then at that moment, then they had map control. They would find people, ambush you, and it was pretty much all she wrote at that point.
Look at Iqbal, man. Just highlight views for days. First go ship, locking up Chami. Second one, spell one flash towards the back lane, and then locking up Dragon here, giving Agum so much room to play in these team fights. This is the dream scenario if you are a farm main. Don't worry, just press your auto attacks. Anything else, leave it to the big boys.
Yeah, big scenario for sure, and 9,000 gold at this point. This is where they're pivoting, which is supposed to be where Philippines will start to try to make a huge comeback thanks to the jump phase ultimate. And there's sort of a bit of a pull and push from this situation, but Chami was more or less untouched, trying to really go into the center of the backline, and Agung was all over Chami though after this.
But the comeback started when you had no towers left, right? And
Yeah.
that is, you didn't take the mid T1. It's so tough,
Too late.
right? Even if you got the team ace, like pushing it all the way through, it would have taken you forever because again, they just get slowed down. And then you were fighting around the Shadow Tyrant, probably stuck around a little too long. Neville getting the quadra strike there.
You would need a colossal comeback like I talked about just now in the game itself. Not one, but two.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult for Team Philippines, but you know, in Indonesia, your MVP for game 2, Agong, man. He was consistent and flawless on that early.
Oh boy, how rare do we see farm lanes actually getting MVP with a 34.8% damage. Agung really
yes.
sets
Even the MVP,
benchmark
why?
here, as well as Iqbal's presence really enabling Arlie to actually do his things, and Agung was very free hitting. Arlie is really his hero.
Yeah, throwing L's to everybody, right? I think that's the way you want to play as Agung. And just staying alive. 0 deaths, that's so difficult on an Arlie. Very mechanically difficult hero to play, but the way he was able to, again, stay alive, his positioning, absolutely insane here.
To add on towards that, it's a specialized team composition coming in from Team Philippines that they want to counter out against this Arlie. Hansen for the Arlie, Aaron, Lane Master, mid lane, Xiao Xiao. All these are main counters against the Arlie, and still for Agung, he came out flawless and had a perfect game on the Parasolar Arlie.
Yeah, even the Guan Yu as well is supposedly to try to catch Arlie at the Parasolar, waiting in the area. But eventually, the way they really moved the Arlie around, trying to save Arlie from any specific danger, Agung's positioning was so well that maybe the team doesn't even have to focus on trying to save him from any imminent danger.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I mean, Agung was the MVP. His KDA looks amazing, but it really was a team effort. Everybody set him up so that he was largely
team
untouched.
effort
He didn't have to just run
अच्छा था
for his life and just, you know, sidestep the safety fuel.
My personal hidden MVP, the second one coming in line, Iqbal.
Yeah.
Iqbal has been an
उसने
absolute menace
स्प्लिट
in
पुश
game
भी
1
अच्छा
and
किया
game 2.
मतलब एक IQ का
game 2,
यूज किया
the
है अच्छा
Ata
तरीके
man,
से टीम को जिताने में.
beautiful from Iqbal.
I agree. He's a beast inside the match as well. And I would like to remind everyone about, don't forget to spectate to claim the commemorative badge on the 21st of June. It can be used in the Grand Venture. More great rewards awaits you.
Guys, आप लोगों को पसंद आया HOK Honor of King
all of these cool stuff,
आज का स्ट्रीम देख के तो yes you can download it through App Store, Play Store, ठीक है
Where?
जहाँ पे भी अवेलेबल है तो आप लोग इंस्टॉल करके जस्ट खेल सकते हो. एक दो गेम ट्राई करो, अगर अच्छा लगा तो खेलते रहना, ठीक है. मुझे तो मस्त लगता है, मैं तो खेलता हूँ, HOK भी खेलता हूँ. अभी 2 दिन से शुरू किया HOK. मोबाइल भी खेलता था तो धीरे धीरे समझ आएगा, बट गेम काफी मजा आएगा खेलने में. स्किल जो है ना, कैरेक्टर स्किल, इधर का जो हीरोज रहता है, कैरेक्टर हीरोज, उसका अलग अलग एबिलिटी होता है. और मेन तो टीम के साथ खेलने में मजा आता है ये गेम. टीम गेम मजा आता है. रैंडम के साथ ज्यादातर टॉक्सिकनेस होता है गेम में, ठीक है, बट अपना खुद का टीम हुआ, खुद के टीम के साथ कम्युनिकेट करके खेल रहे हो तो अलग ही लेवल का मजा आएगा. हार्डकोर गेम है, एक कॉम्पिटिटिव टाइप का होता है ना। और ई स्पोर्ट में भी बहुत बहुत अच्छा है इस गेम में, ठीक है। जैसे आप लोग देख ही सकते हो, इंडियन टीम्स भी गया, नेपाली टीम्स भी गया इंटरनेशनल स्टेज में खेलने एशियन गेम 2026 का। तो यस, देख सकते हो आप लोग, खेल सकते हो।
I think it's because all this time we were training really hard and we always try to remain consistent until the end of the game. And of course, this is an Indonesian full team, so I think our communication is much better. So we don't have a miscommunication.
ऐसे इंटरनेशनल स्टेज में जाके आप लोग भी बोल पाओगे।
In the game.
Your KDA, I
खेलो,
just got this one. It's 105,
अच्छा करो,
7,
e-sport में अच्छा फ्यूचर है इस गेम में, ठीक है।
That's your KDA for the entire tournament. It was really difficult to eliminate heroes from your team. How proud of you with this achievement?
Like maybe I don't really see the KDA though. But if we really did that kind of KDA, I think we should be proud of our team. Because this is what we train for, but I think this also not the end for us because we still have the main event.
Yesterday you mentioned that you really wanted this comeback. Now that you got it, how does it feel, especially for you? And how excited are you for the Asian Games? What kind of excitement are you feeling?
I think I feel really good because from the moment we step here until our until today, it's like really exhausting because we train every day, but the result we got, it proves that we train and we got the result we want.
Nice यार, बहुत
So proud of your growth. And for sure Indonesia
सही।
right now, they're cheering, they're jumping, they're
मेहनत भी
off
तो किया
their
ना, जिस
seats
तरीके से
cheering
मेहनत
for
किया
Team
इन लोगों ने।
Indonesia. What would you like to say to them?
Untuk para fans Indonesia, terima kasih udah dukung kita sampai hari terakhir dari qualifier ini. Ya kalian bisa lihat lah, kita bukan yang sia-sia, try hard terus, improving, grinding. Dan inilah hasil yang kita kasih untuk kalian semua.
Your hard work
Motivation दे रहा
has
है
paid off
Indonesian
once again.
players को।
Congratulations. Indonesia dominates. It remains at #1. We'll break it down even more and head back to our casters. Lead the gorge.
Just want to cover a bit on the last sentence that he
चलो
actually said.
अभी
They're not
ये
winner.
रुकते हैं, ठीक है। और हाँ, आप में से जो भी लोग इन तक बैठे हैं, जो भी लोग देखा है स्ट्रीम को, ठीक है, सबको थैंक्स फॉर वाचिंग। ऐसे ही हर एक स्ट्रीम में जुड़ते रहना मेरे साथ, ऐसे ही आते रहना, देखते रहना। एंड जहाँ कहीं से भी आप लोग देख रहे हो, सबको थैंक्स, ठीक है। ऐसे ही स्ट्रीम करेंगे आने वाले दिनों में भी, फ्री फायर हो, चाहे HOK, चाहे मोबा, और भी गेम्स खेलेंगे। ऐसे ही जुड़ते रहना दोस्तों। तो ठीक है, आज बहुत टाइम कर लिया स्ट्रीम, शायद इतना काफ़ी है, आप लोग भी थक चुके होंगे देखते देखते। तो हाँ यार दोस्तों, आप अब स्ट्रीम एंड करते। तो ठीक है दोस्तों, बाय बाय, मिलते हैं अगली स्ट्रीम में, अगले वीडियो में या स्ट्रीम में या फिर शॉर्ट्स में, कहीं पे भी। चैनल में एक्टिव रहना, नोटिफिकेशन ऑन करके बैठना, ठीक है, और सब्सक्राइब भी कर देना। तो चलो मैं चलता हूँ, आप लोगों से मिलता हूँ, ठीक है, अगली